Hey there, you're listening to You Still Going On About That with Rob Israel and Joseph K. You can find us anywhere you could download podcasts. You could also find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at YSGOAT. Thanks for listening. I'm Rob Israel.
I'm Joseph K.
You still going on about
that?
All right, Joseph, it's November 17th. It's a Wednesday.
Yeah.
But we're going to do this until Thursday, November 18th.
A week.
We are.
Yeah, a week prior to Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Oh, man. Ooh, we're going to do a Thanksgiving episode? I guess we could, right? Not the day of Thanksgiving. But
no, we could do one the day before.
Yeah. You can listen to us while you stuff your turkey. You stuff it. Stick a hand in there. Get those. What? Isn't that kind of gross? Stuffing a turkey.
It's crazy.
I mean, I think what's his face has a whole bit on it. The guy who talks about Hot Pockets, what's his name?
Oh, Jim Gaffigan. Yeah.
Jim Gaffigan's hysterical. He's one of the funnier comedians out there.
Yeah, he's good.
And he's also not a piece of shit. He's like one of those people who
Yeah, he's a solid guy. He's real bright and he's real thoughtful. He's on Twitter a lot talking about social issues and stuff.
He has a good understanding of frozen foods, different choices. But he had a bit about now take it and stuff the bread. He does that voice, whatever.
Yeah.
But it is really bizarre. How did they get to that? You got the animal, you cooked it, and they were like, "Oh, hold on, I have this thing called stuffing I made," which is
crazy. It's like a verb and a noun at the same time.
And it's I don't even understand the origins of stuffing. They're like, "Hey, that bread." I feel like whatever started out as stuffing was probably you should not eat it. It's probably liver juices on it and
awful.
Just 3-day-old bread, bird nipples.
This is honestly most of the stuff they suck out of people when they're embalming them. It's
right. But I mean, I'm sure I could look it up, but I'd rather not.
Yeah. The worst is
stuffing was made.
I haven't eaten meat in 30 years or so. But I've been around people who prepare Thanksgiving turkey. And the most disgusting thing in my estimation is they get the turkey home and then at some point they shoved an entire bag of herbs and bread up the turkey's cavity, and also the turkey's whole neck is shoved up its ass or something. It's just the most bizarre.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, I don't really prepare my own turkey. I get it from this place. They do fried turkeys. It's really good.
Oh, okay.
There's nothing disgusting like that in there. It's cleaned out and cooked.
Cronenberg-esque horror.
They're okay, so shove the stuffing. Now take the turkey's neck and stick it inside of its ass.
I don't know what you do with a turkey's neck.
So it knows how to do a gobble gobble. That's how you gobble gobble.
Yeah, well, we can have a special Thanksgiving themed.
Talk about how the Indians. That's right. They were from the country of India.
Yeah, right. There was the first.
I had a really good education growing up, and the Pilgrims. That was the Pilgrims were Charlie Brown, Schroeder, and Patty.
It is.
They just had dinner together, and everything was fine. Nothing ever bad happened.
It is bizarre. I mean, the whole notion of Thanksgiving that we were kind of fed was just so improbable.
You were guests, and then we this is what it's almost like a good start, why you shouldn't have guests, because they will eventually they'll thank you for the meal, and then they won't leave,
right?
And then they'll kill you with disease or whatever.
It's like that movie Parasite.
And then take your land. Yeah, but in a worse, if they were pure evil and succeeded.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, thanks for the meal. I mean, the whole concept of did Thanksgiving really happen? Did they really have a dinner?
I do not think so. I that's a great question. But I'm.
I mean, isn't it just just like any of these old timey holidays that like had a different name, and it was just like a full harvest
Yeah,
holiday.
it was. Yeah, it was probably originally like a pagan holiday or something. It was
It's
like
always
a.
something to do with like Beelzebub or something. It's always yeah. I love when it's like pagan. It sounds pagan such like a ooh, I'm a pagan.
Yeah, it is.
You met someone they're pagan or a druid. They wearing a cloak. They got a long goat beard.
Yeah,
They
the
probably have
pagans
like
were.
yellow contact lenses.
The pagans were the original bad guys in the Dragnet movie starring Dan Aykroyd and
That's such a
Tom
good
Hanks.
movie. Yep,
It's so good.
With
Do
what's his name, Plumber. He was the
yeah.
bad guy.
Do you remember what pagan was an acronym in that movie? Do you remember what it stood for?
Oh shit, I forgot.
Was it People Against Goodness and Normalcy? Like,
I got to see that movie again. I haven't seen that in probably like a good 25, 30 years.
yeah.
I remember it being good.
There's a
I
bunch.
just remember the end of the movie because they always kept on referring to the woman as the Virgin.
Yeah, the Virgin Connie Swale, I think.
Yeah,
it was.
the Virgin Connie Swale. And then Dan Aykroyd kind of looked him in the end, like, not anymore.
That was like, great.
Yeah, Dan Aykroyd fucked her. Yeah, that's great. I was like 10 watching that. I'm like, yeah, that's right. She ain't a virgin anymore. 10-year-old Rob, like watching Dragnet, the movie. The movie's got like Satanism in it. And,
yeah. There's a bunch of good movies around that time that were like wasn't Fletch around then too? And
yeah,
Fletch was great, I thought. But like kind of serious, kind of funny. It was like a good mix of like
they appealed to kids, but like they were not kids movies.
No, they were not. I think that was the joy of it, is like you felt like you were going to see an adult movie, but it really wasn't an adult movie. It was like a kids movie with profanity and partial
nudity.
Dan
Aykroyd fucking Connie Swale. Like, just like
that's right. I had forgotten about that. At the end, he just introduces her as Connie Swale. And like,
yeah, not long, like wasn't the Virgin anymore. And Tom Hanks was in it. He was playing like the wacky sidekick.
Yeah, he played.
So he wasn't leading man yet.
No, it was Dan Aykroyd played Joe Friday, and wasn't the original. Who was Friday's partner?
I don't know. I never watched that show.
Well, it was played by Harry Morgan, the guy from MASH, wasn't it?
I have no idea. I never watched that show.
Oh, I used to watch.
I know what the guy looks. I kind of know what the guy looked like who played Dragnet, or whatever.
Yeah, Jack Webb or whatever. But like Harry Morgan, I think the guy who eventually played Colonel Potter in MASH, when he was much younger, played Friday's partner. Okay. And I think Harry Morgan was the sergeant in the movie Dragnet. And and
pay respect to the.
Right, little continuity there. And Tom Hanks was supposed to be his like grandson or son or nephew or something like that. There was supposed to be some.
He was kind of playing like a kind of a little bit of a piece of shit, though, wasn't he? Like he was like, like loosey goosey guy. He didn't seem to care about things, and he was kind of like Styles in Teen Wolf, just like badass friend who didn't follow the rules,
right?
Telling Dragnet to loosen up.
That's funny. Yeah, Harry Morgan did play Captain Bill Gannon. Gannon was anyway. This is kind of a tangent.
Yeah, I don't know. People are like, "What the fuck are we listening to?" And you're like, "These guys are still going on about that." And everyone's like, "Yeah, duh." That's the name of the podcast.
Dragnet 1987. I just looked it up. I wouldn't have guessed that movie came out in 87. I would have guessed a little earlier. But I guess 1987 that came out.
I've been watching like Seinfeld for like they put it on Netflix. And we've been basically just watching that like every day over the past couple of weeks. And I think we're on like season 6 now.
Oh wow.
And we were like talking about like how the show's perfect. It like it's like some old references and stuff and everything, but it's like pretty timeless. Like you can watch it now, it's like, but then it's like past couple episodes in season 6, there's some really racist shit against Asian people that
I'll bet
age well. Like the one with it's a funny episode where like Seinfeld dates this woman named like Chang.
Yeah.
But she ends up, it's revealed she's like some Jewish woman from Queens. Blonde hair. It's the one where George's mom's talking to her on the phone and she gets pissed and she finds out she's just a white girl. She's like, I was talking to him. like they're wise or something.
Shit.
But that was funny. But I'm watching, I'm like, oh my God, like Seinfeld's just saying all kinds of like racist stereotypes throughout the episode. I'm like, wow, I haven't
Yeah.
seen this episode in like 2 or 3 decades, and I'm older now too. And I'm like, whoa. And then there's like another episode where like Elaine orders Chinese food, and the guy's just like horrible accent. Like it just
Yeah.
I'm like, what is up with these episodes in season 6? These episodes tonight, what was the deal with all the racism in the Seinfeld show?
That was the Steve Bannon year, I think.
Yeah, I think Steve Bannon. I'm gonna look at the credits and see how much influence Steve Bannon had on season 6.
Right.
The first couple seasons didn't. What's the deal?
That doesn't surprise. I don't remember that, but it doesn't surprise me. I'll say that the episodes of Seinfeld I've seen recently, the only thing that doesn't age really well, and it's oddly specific, is Jerry's wardrobe. Everyone else,
I don't care about that.
I don't either. But like everyone else, if you look at Kramer's, kind of stuck out of time anyway. So
yeah,
like,
he's like they call him a hipster doofus.
Yeah, but like Costanza kind of looks like he could be anywhere between the last, 30,
he wears some
years.
weird stuff. He wears these like weird Pennington bear coats throughout the show. But this is the bubble. He wears like a bubble jacket. It's like this big. It's really fun.
Yeah, but like those are played for laughs. But like Jerry always has like
he has
uncomfortably tight jeans and like bright white sneakers.
Very
and like
loose flowing shirts. Like not loose. They're tight, like tucked in, but like he's a skinny guy. It's like. I recommend watching it, but like I said, man, these past couple episodes I'm watching season 6, I was like, whoa, these didn't. This is where I'm like, okay, I'm watching a show that's like almost 3 decades old.
Yeah, it's funny.
You forget about that.
You know what?
The show was on a very long time ago.
One of my favorite all-time movies was Lost in Translation, which was, I gotta say, that was in the mid 2000s or whatever.
Early 2000s, like 2003, 2004.
Okay. And that, I watched that again, like in its entirety, probably just like a month or two ago.
I have no interest in seeing that again.
It's one of my favorite movies, aside from like several scenes of like pretty racist Asian stereotype. I mean, I know it's like that's kind of the shtick, but it was like almost like needlessly needless. It was like, wow, that seems jarring.
All these talks about it, Asians. Perfect segue to what we were going to talk about at the beginning.
Right. We were going to talk
about the new Spiderman trailer.
Well, we were talking about
Kyle Rittenhouse trial. We're going to talk about that. That's a perfect segue. All this race.
Well, I will say
it would be a perfect talk about Beto running, Elon and Bernie feud on Twitter,
pregnancy farms
in Texas.
Yep.
Gosar and Bobert and Gobert and Blobert and Flobert and all the other Huberts. And we're about to talk about that. But I guess this is the perfect segue. Really, we just watched a movie.
Yeah, Shang-Chi
on Disney Plus because I didn't want to go. Well, you didn't go, but I didn't go it was released in the theater.
Yeah, it was.
They just did a Disney Plus day or whatever they called it, and they released a bunch of stuff that day, and Shang-Chi was one of them. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It just came out in September, so it wasn't that long of a wait. Yeah, it was awesome. I liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was, I guess I'll say that I didn't have great expectations for it. I thought I would just kind of enjoy it. But I really, really liked it. I liked it a whole bunch. What's the deal with all these? Well, I'll tell you, it felt like, and you said this too, that the first half of the movie is much better than the second half, or the first 2/3 is better.
All right, so spoilers. We're gonna spoil.
Yeah.
Is this not even plugged in? Okay. Spoilers. If you haven't seen Shang-Chi and you have Disney Plus, go watch it.
Yeah.
If you don't care, who cares? Listen, doesn't matter. You know what? We cannot ruin this movie for you because one, we have no abilities, fighting abilities. We don't have stunt coordinators.
Right.
We don't have visual effects artists with us. Oh, the power of our words hopefully cannot destroy the movie. I mean, I guess they could. I mean, you can Sync Nation, when you remember that old saying when you were a kid, you hear like sticks and stones will break my bones, but names will never hurt me. Bullshit.
Yeah,
Bullshit. What?
Names can be tough.
It could like shape the way a person is formed.
Yeah. And careers.
And yeah, everything. So I don't know where that whole line came from. Clearly someone trying to set up someone for failure.
Yeah. I'll tell you
but
this.
Yeah, sticks and stones will break your bones.
They're still the go-to for real damage, but names are also very powerful.
Yes, they could, and they usually lead to sticks and stones. There's like usually a strong connection between the two.
That's true.
Starts with the names and then
I loved Shang-Chi. Like I said, I wasn't anticipating liking it as much as I did. I thought all the actors were great. I thought it was super well cast. I thought I liked seeing a movie original. I mean, a good chunk of it set in San Francisco, which is kind of like a cool, fun location. It had a real Spider-Man vibe in the beginning. I felt, like just kind of fun.
The first like 20 minutes is all like subtitle.
Yep.
And it's different from your normal Marvel movie in that aspect, obviously.
Yeah.
They talk about different things and reveal. I'm not gonna like do a breakdown the entire movie.
Right.
It's just, there's some really good fight scenes and stuff. I will say though, and this seems to be kind of been the consensus of this movie, is that the last half hour is the weakest part of the movie.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not really like a kung fu anymore.
Nope.
It's not really, it's like all magical and like big battles, big monsters. Like the monster was kind of cool and everything, but like, I don't know. I don't know if I cared for the design of it. It wasn't like anything super memorable, like the big monster in the end. It was just like the dragon was kind of cool, like the dragon.
We just had like throughout the whole movie, you're set up as thinking the dad is the bad guy, right? Like that's yeah, but like that's kind of the antagonist, the person he
is the bad guy because like every time he does like something he thinks good or feels like, hey, this is a decent guy, he's like, no, he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And then like,
and then at the very last minute, you're like, no, here's the real bad guy. And it's like this dragon that doesn't really talk. And it was underwhelming.
It's just a big old scary dragon with lots of weird tentacles and shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I love, like, they incorporated Ben Kingsley, the character from the movie. He was, so, like, it's revealed. It's been kind of revealed a long time ago. So Iron Man 3 came out, and the Mandarin was in it.
Yeah. Mandarin.
Well, yeah. And he was, like, a classic villain from Iron Man. It was always kind of, like, didn't age well. Like, that Seinfeld episode.
Yeah.
But, like, this didn't age at all well. Just the way they would draw him and everything, like horrible, like stereotypes. And they improved the character over the years, made him more like a person, like crude stereotype. But it still like always was like a little problematic in the movies. And they also kind of, for not having the Mandarin be in Iron Man really ever, they kind of like screwed it up a bit. But it was revealed in Iron Man 3. They casted Ben Kingsley to play the Mandarin, and he was no longer this Asian dude. He's like a vaguely Middle Eastern terror. Yeah. But the big twist, spoilers for Iron Man 3, it is revealed that Ben Kingsley is actually playing an actor, and the whole thing was put on by the villain, the true villain of Iron Man 3. There was no real Mandarin, and it was just like to distract people from what was really going on. And that was a cool twist, like to like kind of like a wag the dog thing. And then they did a short that you could see on Disney Plus. It came out. It's like they used to do these short films that come out on DVD releases for like the next movie. And they did one called like Hail to the King, and it was kind of like catching up with Ben Kingsley's character. He's in prison now, and everyone like loves him in jail. He's kind of like he was like a failed actor. You find out he's a failed actor in Iron Man 3. And now he's getting all the success he's ever wanted. But then it's revealed in the end of that episode, that short movie, that there is a real Mandarin, and he's pissed off.
Right.
And basically, the guy comes, whoever gets him out of jail. And you don't know, that came out in like 2014. So you haven't heard, they haven't done anything. And then when they announced Shang-Chi,
Yeah.
the character has some like his character origins. I don't know too much about him. I have never really read too many of the comics and stuff, but like his dad is like a bad guy, but his dad's Fu Manchu, which is like goes back to like the early 20th century, is a really racist character, but he has like this character also kind of like inspired like Ming the Merciless and all these other like villains, but like just again, not a not a character you want to be like, oh yeah, the villain's Fu Manchu,
Yeah,
it's like
it's right.
But it's revealed that the Mandarin is actually Shang-Chi's dad, but he's also not really the Mandarin. What's his name?
Oh,
he doesn't really go by that name.
No, he doesn't.
He even makes a joke about it. He's like, "What am I, an orange or something?" Like,
right. Yeah, and he said he's been called a bunch of things.
He's like this warlord. He has these rings. The ring. Oh, in the comics, they're literally just rings on his fingers. The 10 rings, but they changed and made him these like weapons that go on like sleeves. And I guess those. He has like eternal life, or like he's like
they said. Yeah, in the very beginning, they said like nobody knows how he got them. Some people say he stole them from a tomb. Some people said he took them from a meteorite, which seems to make sense given the end of the film. They're probably of alien design.
Hey, don't spoil them. I'm just kidding.
But he got these things. He was a bandit, and he got them, and it basically gave him eternal life and some special powers.
So, and then I guess he was always trying to go to Kung Lo. Is that the name of the
Ta Lo, I think it was. He was trying to get to this magical place because he heard they were guarding a secret. And he almost gets there, but he falls in love with like a gatekeeper, and they go off and be human together until some gangsters kill the wife, and then he goes on a tear.
Yeah, I find that weird that these gangsters, just some real gangsters, were able to kill this woman. I just find that a little weird. Well, unless she like, since she was so removed from it anymore, she like wasn't really magical anymore.
Yeah, the kid says right before they jump her, the kid says, "But you don't have your powers."
Okay.
And so then you see there's like 5 guys about to jump her, and she looks confident, like she's going to take him out. But then you see like 30 other people walk in the room, and she knows she's kind of fucked.
So the dad, of course, trains the son, not the daughter, but he trains the son to like kind of be a killer and like get revenge or whatever, go kill the people that kill his mom and everything. And I guess he does do that, but he's like 14. I love the training scene stuff. There's like this one guy who's like this weird looking ninja.
Yeah.
There's this like kind of like almost samurai looking man, like a weird, but like this guy, I don't know, he just kind of like, he's there. They never really did anything with him.
No, I thought he was going to be a significant character from the trailer.
But he doesn't talk, and like, Shang-Chi hates him because the guy was like mean to him growing up, like he would hit him with shit. But like, I don't know, the guy was just kind of like whatever. I remember he was in the ads and stuff, and he just gets killed. It's like whatever. I do like the one dude who was like this Razor Fist, I think his name is.
Yeah, right.
Razor Fist is I love that he had a car that said Razor Fist on it.
Yeah.
So I guess I saw a cutscene. There's a cutscene where Razor Fist gets killed.
Oh,
like he's talking, because you know how they like kind of all team up in the end. Yeah. They're like, we gotta
work together.
To Razor Fist, and she's like, I'm just this woman from here, and he's like, listen, I'm just an amputee from like Bulgaria or something, or Romania, and like. And here I am, I don't know. But then he gets killed, but they decide to keep him alive. I'm kind of glad they did, because you want to have. I think they sometimes Marvel has this tendency to kill villains too quickly, and they need to like not kill them, like especially if there's like some potential. Like, not to say that the world needs more Razor Fist,
but he was pretty entertaining.
But he could be he could show up in a Marvel TV show.
Yeah.
He could show up. It's like an imposing looking character. It's like people. Did you see Black Widow?
Yeah, I finally did. Yeah.
So people were like complaining about how Taskmaster was, and I get that. I personally don't care. I mean, like I said, I read comics stuff like that. Taskmaster was never any of my favorite.
I was gonna say I'd never heard of that guy before.
Okay, well, they didn't do Taskmaster any. They did him completely wrong, right? I could see why people did. I think the one main reason they were pissed was because it was revealed it was a woman in there. Taskmaster was not a woman in the comic. Honestly, I don't care. I don't give a shit. I think the fact that they didn't kill her off. I think the fact that in the end they could even just have someone else be Taskmaster. She doesn't have to be Taskmaster. It's like one of these like names that could get passed on.
Yeah, like with Black Panther. I mean, they could have anybody be the next Black Panther.
Well, it's usually just T'Challa. It's always been T'Challa since the 60s. I mean, there's been other Black Panthers, but just like everything, T'Challa always ends up being Black Panther.
Yeah,
there's no, it's not how it works. Like, sure, he was Black Panther in the comics, like a year or two. But guess what? At the end of the day, it's T'Challa. It's like Bruce Wayne. They've had multiple people be Batman. Guess what? It's one Batman.
Yeah. Okay, that's I guess is a fair analogy.
I'm just saying, though, Taskmaster is, but with villains, I think it's a different story. Villains, like, this could be a moniker, someone takes up a name. Who cares? But I'm glad they didn't kill her. They could bring her back and make her really cool and make her, I would say a great example is Zemo in the Zemo, when they introduced him in Civil War, there were so many characters being introduced Civil War and stuff like that. The Zemo kind of fell for the wayside.
Right.
And he was not his character from the comics. He didn't have a costume. He didn't have anything. He was just some dude who happened to have that name. He wasn't even royalty or anything.
Right.
But then they got the same actor. They still had the same story with everything, but they revealed that no, he is royalty and all the stuff, and he had the costume.
He was great in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, he was great. So I'm glad they need to stop. They have this tendency to kill villains off too quickly sometimes, and I'm glad that they've learned not to, because again, they could bring these characters. So I think Taskmaster is one that they can improve on next time she shows up, or if someone gets a new moniker. Same thing, Zemo showing up. Now he's like a beloved character. They totally made him awesome in the Falcon and Winter Soldier. And they had more room to breathe, like more air. So like some of these villains and stuff can get a better performance and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, Shang-Chi was fine. I liked it starts out real grounded to a point. I mean, obviously not, because they show like weird magical fights in the beginning, but like with the main guy, who is Sean. Is that Aquafina's character? His name was Sean. I love that she was making fun of the fact that like he's on the run and he changes. He's Shang-Chi or something, Shang-Chi, and then he changed his name to Sean. She's like, Sean, you thought that was enough? Like you only had to change? Like
no wonder they found you. No wonder.
Yeah, exactly. I thought that was really funny. I love the little furry thing that had no face. That
Maurice,
was like, Maurice.
Yeah.
So you see it later on though. That character, Ben Kingsley's character, shows up and he's been held a prisoner by basically Shang-Chi's dad or something. And I just love the whole Maurice and shows him. We're like, what the fuck is this? And he's like, oh, good, you guys could see him.
Right, yeah.
Like, I thought I was hallucinating for years. And this thing like kind of talks. He's like, and like, but he has no face. It's super freaky, but at the same time, it's like fucking adorable.
Yeah, it's real cute.
He looks like a hairy Thanksgiving turkey. Speaking of
Thanksgiving,
he did. He has like a, like turkeys have Thanksgiving turkeys usually don't have a head.
Right.
It's kind of unfortunately how they become Thanksgiving turkeys. And it's usually how the origin of becoming a Thanksgiving turkey is.
Yeah.
I guess they shove the head up the butt or something now.
Something like that.
But Maurice, I guess, helps them go to
Hollow. Yeah.
Yeah. And I love that whole like the bamboo forest is like moving. And
that was great. Yeah.
So I don't know. There's all kinds of good shit in the movie. I like when like he get the bus fight. There's a bus fight in the beginning. That's when it's revealed that he has these awesome fighting abilities, and that's when Aquafina learns about it. He's just they're like I love the beginning of the movie when you see them and you think, and all of a sudden like a car pulls up and you think that's going to be him being this successful guy.
Yeah.
And, he's just the valet.
He's a valet.
He's the valet, and Aquafina just like kind of fucking off all the time.
Yeah.
But then they're taking the bus, and then like this guy shows up, wants his pendant, and all of a sudden he's like fighting all these dudes. But it's so well done.
It is.
Choreography, though. It reminded me of the game. Remember the game Kung Fu in the arcade where you like walk down the hallway?
Yeah.
It was like do 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 do,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, no, 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 no.
Right,
And you're like,
right.
kick and you knock down like 3 guys at once. The game is hard as fuck though, because once you get to the guy who throws the knife, because only it's like those games where you get hit
Yep.
once and
Yeah.
you're dead. But it reminded me of that. And then
That's
he's fighting
funny.
Razor Fist on the bus. Oh, I love that one guy who's like, I took some karate as a kid, so
Right.
I'm gonna review this fight.
Yeah.
That guy's awesome. I love that guy. I've seen him in so many things. I kind of wish he stayed in the movie. It would have been weird and pointless, but
It would have been, but
yeah, it would have been odd.
he shows up in like Asia somewhere. Like,
Yeah, he's all of a sudden fighting with them in the end, and he's recording it. He's like, I know how to use a bow.
Well, it was
that bus scene is the best part of the movie.
Yeah, it is. It's a great movie. And I would like to see this character. I mean, I guess we are going to see this character kind of continue on in the MCU. It was a good one.
I like when he goes to Hong Kong and they're like also involved with this like underground fighting, and you see Wong fighting the Abomination, which is this crazy Abomination is the Hulk bad guy that he was in the Incredible Hulk movie.
Yeah.
And they don't call him by, he calls him Emo Blonsky or whatever.
But they're like friends, or they're
you find out that the whole thing is a scheme.
Yeah.
And the theory is that Wong breaks the Abomination out of prison.
Yeah.
Does the whole little fizzy portal thing, breaks him out, and then they go do the thing, and then he brings him back. And the theory is that paying that he's not. It's been proven that Wong's a little bit of a shitbag, but the reality is that supposedly it's also like he's got bills to pay. I'm sure having a mansion in the lower what is it? Where's the what part of Manhattan is Doctor Strange's house?
It's got to be the Upper West Side or something.
Upper East? No, it's not. It's like there's a famous name. It's downtown Manhattan, but it's like a famous like an artsy area and stuff. Regardless, I'm sure they have bills to pay.
Yeah,
so
probably.
It's just kind of funny. The whole thing is just like a scheme. Like I love that he like has him punch himself out.
Yeah, that was funny.
But it's like so quick. He's like hardly in it. I thought he was going to be in it more. Like they showed him in the end. I was like, holy shit, what's the Abomination doing in Shang-Chi? And again, having a character that hasn't been around since 2008.
Yeah.
It's like, and then the same thing where like you see, so like even though this movie is this new thing with lots of new characters, they tie up some loose ends, like the whole thing with Mandarin and Ben Kingsley's character. Again, dude, that movie came out in 2013. Iron Man 3. And you're talking like over 8 years ago.
Yeah.
The CGI battle was probably the weakest part of the end of it. That was it. I just felt like it ended up turning into just like the most generic Marvel movie, and had like some cool effects, and like I do like the big dragon.
Yeah,
that's cool. It's funny, they show these like food dogs, but they like did nothing.
Yeah,
those food dogs. I love them when they're putting armor on them. They're like, oh, heck yeah.
Right.
They're ready to go to battle. Food dog. And they put on like special food dog armor. I thought that was cute.
It was good. I didn't have a problem. They were kind of cool looking. I didn't have a problem with the ending, but it was not nearly as good as the first half of the movie.
So. No. I mean, I would definitely like to see this character again. I do, like I said, I like the way it ends, and you get to, I mean, I'm not going to ruin the whole thing, but like, it's, I guess later on, they somehow end up with Wong, though, talking about the rings. Or no, he gets them. So that's it. Okay, so they're having dinner with their friends. They go out to dinner with these people in the beginning of the movie, and they're like these friends that clearly are like moving on with their lives.
Right.
They have jobs. They're going to have family soon. And these people are slackers. And then later on, they're having dinner with them, and they're basically just. I love that they don't even pretend to like hide anything. They're literally telling them everything, and the friends think they're like just fucking with them. But then Wong shows up with a portal, and he's like, "Yeah, we gotta go," and he takes them, and they're just like, "What?" Oh, I think pretty sure he erases their brain or something. Like they don't remember.
Oh, I don't know. Well, he does. They Wong takes them back, and Captain Marvel basically and Bruce Banner basically say like, when your dad gave you those rings, it sent out a beacon, like when the rings changed owners, and it's calling out to something, and we don't know what it is.
So there's all kinds of theories, and that could lead into Eternals. You didn't see that yet. I saw that in the theater. Which could be Celestials, or the other theory is that this is like opening the door for Galactus.
Oh, okay.
Or it could be, I mean, there's so many cosmic characters that they could bring in. Galactus, right. Everyone thinks this could be the next big one, just because he is big. Something. So obviously it's a setup, and it's a good way to tie in this character into the Marvel universe more. Like I said, though, there was another after credit scene where you saw like the daughter now his sister has taken on basically the mantle of her dad's, and now she's in charge of the 10 rings. But she's like girl boss, and she has like cool graffiti now.
Yeah. She's got some sort of multi-level marketing thing going on, and so
yeah, she's selling NFTs on like on open seas, and like, oh, look at this, the new those gorilla and lazy lions. There's a version of Shang-Chi. Come buy it. It's gonna be worth millions of dollars. Sucker.
Well, with the other,
it's so scarce, just like the rings.
The other big Marvel news was the new Spider-Man trailer came out.
Well, yeah. But okay, yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh no, I thought
no, that's it. I mean, Shang-Chi was fun. Watch it. I don't really I can't say this was I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought it was really good.
How many thumbs do you give up?
I would give it both thumbs up. I don't know. I guess I was expecting a B- Marvel movie, and I feel like I got an A- Marvel movie.
I'll go with B. I'll give it a B.
Yeah.
That last half hour, that battle with and some of that stuff was like kind of, it just like, it had like all this cool shit, and then it just kind of got like, it just like was too much. It was like you start out with like the cool bus fight, and then you have that awesome fight scene and like the underground fighting, and then the whole rooftop thing, or the building side fight. But then like once you got there, it just kind of lost the movie, and it became like villain. Like I don't know, and the villain was like okay, like it's weird. Like he was a villain, but he wasn't. Even though he's like this horrible, brutal warlord, but he wasn't. Just like dad.
Yeah, that's a little hard to follow.
It was just like inconsistent. I'll give it a B. I mean, that's still good. I wouldn't say it's a middle ground. To me, it's a middle Marvel movie, which to me is a good thing. A lot of people like to shit on Marvel movies. I don't think that's fair. I don't think these people are watching them. I think they're they just want to shit on it. Marvel, the MCU has done something that no other franchise or anything was able to even come close to. And like some guy on Twitter was talking about like how the MCU doesn't respect Marvel or something.
Yeah, you were saying that.
Yeah, okay. And I was like, I was gonna write this thing, and I was like, fine, I'm not gonna waste my time with this guy. But I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, dude, their biggest plot, they took a storyline that was from the 70s and from a miniseries from the 90s and made it the plot of their entire franchise for a decade, the Infinity Stones. It's
no small thing.
That's not a major thing in Marvel. Like, yeah, it was big in the 90s, and like the Infinity Gems always been kind of like they're kind of big in Marvel, but they're not like when you think of Marvel, oh my god, think of the Infinity.
Oh yeah, no, that was not
obscure shit. They took a villain like Thanos, who was like, you would think they would never use the villain for a movie. Like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, yeah, they make some changes and shit, but they do it in a way that it works and works within the universe that they're making in the movie. I don't know. I think people just want to shit on these movies.
Yeah,
like I said, even a middle plus Marvel movie is better than most fucking movies.
Yeah. Also, that is a good point.
Like, what did you see? Oh man, it's so lame when these guys do it. Who's the director of Aliens and stuff?
Oh yeah, Ridley Scott was mouthing off about this lately.
Yeah, he was like shitting on Marvel movies. I don't even know what he said. What did he say?
I don't know either, but it was something along the lines of like they're unoriginal, uninspired. Yeah.
Well,
Sure.
I mean, they're not original 100% because they're based on comics from the 60s.
Good point.
So, yeah, how dare they rip themselves off? Let's see, what did he say? Ridley Scott and the grand tradition of big name directors disparaging superhero movies. I think these movies as fucking boring as shit. Whatever. This guy is just salty because he made a movie recently no one saw.
Yeah.
And no one saw it because he gave Ben Affleck stupid hair in the movie. You know what movie I'm talking about? It was like some movie about knights and stuff.
Yeah.
Supposedly it was good. But like,
it's based on a true story too. It's like a weird, yeah.
And like Adam Driver's in it, Ben Affleck's in it. It's like a ton of people in it. No one saw it. No one.
Yeah. It looked boring and depressing.
I heard it was good, but like, I don't know. These guys, like, this is the guy who made Prometheus. Prometheus sucked. Like, I don't want to hear anything. Dude, Prometheus sucked. They're trying to make it like the Aliens franchise, this like ridiculously pretentious thing. Dude, the Alien franchise is this. You got an out of control corporation trying to scour for profits, and the alien is basically just like the what do you call it? The consequences of out of control globalization.
Yeah.
Here you go. I made Aliens deep, but he made it like super like religion.
Oh, they got super, yeah.
I was like, dude, get
Alien 1 and 2 were great, but then it just got a little out of control.
I like 3. 3, I mean, 3 was underwhelming, but he had nothing to do with any of those. He only did 1.
Yeah.
All I'm saying though is these guys, I think it's like there's two things these guys do. These older directors, they either shit on Marvel movies or they start bitching about cancel culture. I'm not even kidding. That's like literally what these guys do. It's like all these older directors, they shit on Marvel movies or they do the other route and claim that they can't make movies because of cancel culture. Like what's his face did that shit.
Yeah.
I like that guy. The guy that like Fisher King and
not Terry Gilliam. Was it Terry Gilliam? Or,
Monty Python guy. Yeah. From a cancel. I was like, get the fuck out of here. Like, dude, you don't sound bad. And all those people are like, well, Ridley Scott's right. I'm like, is he? Who cares? I don't care if he's right or not. Like, it's not like these guys like he distanced himself from. He tried making a franchise recently with the Prometheus movies.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I just think it's easy bait. It's easy to attack. And I mean, like, the only reason I think with the Marvels is because it's owned by Disney, so it makes it an easier target. It makes it like as if it's this cheaper product. So people like come into it. They'll say something stupid like it's like McDonald's. And I'm like, a little better than McDonald's.
Yeah, that's not like a great analogy.
I mean, maybe like fine, like McDonald's when it's like really hot, like fresh fries and the food's cooked.
Sure, that's a good that'll work.
But like when I think of McDonald's, it's usually like burgers, kind of like
warmed over.
Fries are like that weird, not stale, but like not freshly cooked.
Yeah.
I will give Shang-Chi a hot fries, but not a warm burger review. That's my review. That's how I'm gonna review the movie. Okay. Spiderman Trailers.
Yeah.
The new one, Far From Home, which is technically not 100% a Marvel movie.
Right. It's a Sony collaboration.
Oh, yeah. And Sony has always proven to make great movies.
Yeah, right. Well, this one looked really good. You know, I mean, like all the Spider-Man movies have been good thus far, the Marvel ones. This one looks so different. This one looks good.
That's where that guy. Okay, so there's a funny part. It's revealed like, so the plot of the movie so far, from what we know, is that like there's something to do with like alternate realities or whatever with Doctor Strange, and like Peter fucks something up, and things start coming in from multiple realities from different worlds. Dr. Octopus shows up. We're assuming, I mean, it's the same actor who played him in the second Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, Edward Molina.
Yeah. And he's great. And he was great in that movie. And it looks like I don't know if he's like helping him or like they show him in prison or whatever, but they're talking to him and there's one that tells them their name and they start cracking up. Because they're like, wait, your name is Otto Octavius.
Yeah.
And your name's Dr. Octopus, and they start laughing. And like I told you, that was that one guy.
who tweeted that. He was talking about it. He's like, yeah, Marvel doesn't respect the character.
Right.
Get your head out of your ass. Spider-Man has made fun of his name a million times.
These are teenagers. Yeah.
They're teenagers. And the whole point is Spider-Man quips. He makes fun of his villains. This goes back to the fucking 60s.
Yeah.
Like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, I was like, that's what the tweet I saw. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I'm like, this is the stupidest, most pretentious tweet I ever read. I was like, and that's what I was saying about, like, they don't respect the, but they used an obscure thing as like the Infinity Stones to drive their franchise for a decade.
Yeah. I don't know. I have no problem. I mean, I liked that scene. I thought that scene was hilarious.
It was the fucking funniest part of the entire trailer.
Yeah, for sure. And it looks good. It looks like,
I will say though, I hate that version of the lizard, the one from Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
They improved from what you saw for a little bit. You saw Electro. They improved on Electro already. Fucking Green Goblin still looks like the
yeah.
I'll tell you, I hope that they do a better Green Goblin at some point. Like, I hope that whatever it is they do in this movie, the only thing I don't like about these villains showing up is like I feel like they're not earned in this universe.
Yeah.
And I don't mind like if Otto Octavius, his character becomes like more part of the MCU because it's Alfred Molina, he's a great actor and like that. But that version of Green Goblin, not William Dafoe, just the look of that.
Yeah, I never liked that.
He looks like a fucking Power Ranger.
It does. Yeah, like a Power Ranger villain or something.
Like, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like, but they improved on like, again, we don't know anything that's really gonna happen in this movie. We know there's like alternate realities and there's the Scooby-Doo joke, which was like funny. I don't know. But the supposed rumor is that the other two Spider-Men, Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, are gonna show up in this.
Yeah.
They're hiding it. They're not gonna. We don't know. Maybe.
No, it seems logical that they would appear though.
Venom is supposedly going to be in this because.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I don't know. I think we talked about. I didn't see the new one. I heard it wasn't very good. The Venom would be Carnage, but I guess in the end of the movie, I saw this online. Sony let it leak online, where some alternate reality, or they end up like getting sucked into some alternate reality, which maybe has something to do with the new Spider-Man movie, and then they see Peter Parker on the screen.
Yeah. And
then Venom's like, oh, tasty or something, which was kind of gross. But so he's now going to be, this was their way of saying like, oh yeah, like Venom.
He can enter the world. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. I hope it's good. I hope it's not like a big giant mess. I mean, whatchamacallit worked. What's that movie? The one with Miles Morales.
Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, that movie was awesome. That one worked. Hopefully this one works too. I don't know. Like, I'm hoping it's not too too overcrowded that it's just
right. Well,
but Kevin Feige, MCU.
Yeah, I did.
They can handle multiple characters. Sony though has proven they can't.
Right.
Well, hopefully Sony again continues to just kind of let MCU and all the creatives that work there do their thing.
Right. Lead the way.
All right. Last one before we start talking about all the miserable shit in the world.
Right.
I saw the movie The Eternals. It was I saw it in theater since March of 2020.
Wow.
Which I think was either like over a year and a half ago or like 2 decades ago.
Right. Now, what movie did you see last? Was it Biodome? Was it that
Pauly Shore got to see a 20th anniversary screening. It was
down there at Texas Theater. They do a great show.
That guy showed up, Stephen Baldwin.
Yes.
And he started just going on some weird televangelist crazy shit because that's what he is now. Nah, I saw the movie Onward.
Oh, that's right. You told me that.
I made a joke with Roger, and I said, well, we saw a Disney movie last time. Now we're going to see another Disney movie, and that Disney movie is called The Eternals.
Right. And you liked Eternals, right? You thought it was good? You liked Eternals?
It was good. I liked it. I'm not going to since you didn't see it, I'm not going to go into it. It's getting a lot of hate, but I feel like the people who hate it are like, they hate it for really stupid reasons. It's it's very different from the other Marvel movies, but at the same time, it's not like it still kind of falls into the whole. I mean, I always love when they like say like guys shooting lasers at things. I'm like, a lot of these movies are guys shooting lasers at these things. But like, what the fuck are you supposed to do? But they introduce all these new concepts and stuff like with the Celestials, and I never really read the Eternals, and I kind of always like my eyes kind of glazed over anytime the Celestial would show up in Marvel. But like, I find it interesting that the Marvel went in MCU because the Eternals is part of it. They introduced this concept, and I'm surprised that it hasn't caused as much controversy. It basically implies that the entire Marvel universe is created by these celestial beings. Now, you've heard about the Celestials and the Guardians of the Galaxy. In the first movie, they talk about it, and then they talk about it in 2 because Ego was technically a Celestial, which the Ego,
from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, the sequel. And so basically what they do is they create life and destroy life. So they basically, everything they do leads to creating new universes or whatever, or galaxies, and that creates life. And they send these Eternals that are basically like, they're almost like they're robots, but they're not. They're people. And so spoilers, I'm spoiling this, but the whole concept, so basically they send these inside of most planets, we're just really an egg for a celestial. When the Earth has enough people living on it, enough people there, the celestial, basically all of life on Earth or whatever other planet, is actually feeding the baby inside the planet. And then that day, the celestial will open up the planet like a fucking egg, just basically destroy Earth.
Right.
And so it's actually interesting. So the Eternals fight these things called the Deviants. And I forgot again where these come from. They're not supposed to get involved with anything to do with the planet. They're not supposed to get involved with man. They're not supposed to do anything. Their main job is to just kill the Deviants, because the Deviants were like something that fucked up the Eternals, like the Celestials fucked up, where basically like the whole idea is to make sure that the apex predator doesn't destroy what is technically like the budding life form. Like basically we don't get eaten up by saber-toothed tigers.
Yeah, they nurture us to get us a good fighting shot.
Yeah. So they get rid of the Deviants, and they supposedly got rid of them centuries ago. So they all kind of like split up. Like the band broke up. And there's all 10 of them, and they all go. Movie like kind of goes back and forth, lots of flashbacks. But then it's revealed that basically Thanos destroyed by taking away half the universe, killing half the Earth, basically. It actually slowed down the process of that celestial waking up. But then, because Tony Stark and then brought everyone back, so you had Thanos kill everyone, but you still have, and within those 5 years, you still have babies being born. The population is still starting to grow again. It's nowhere near what it will be, but it's growing. And then all of a sudden, Tony goes, no, not Tony. The Hulk brings him back in Endgame, and because of that, a ton more life came in, and it basically woke up the egg.
All right.
So now this Celestial is going to wake up, and they have to do everything they can to stop it. But then there's some Eternals that their job is to do that, and they have
bring that on. Yeah,
they have no real attachments to humanity. And some do. Some have attachments to humanity, and some don't. And it's like an interesting back and forth. Like there's a lot. Like it's a very diverse cast. It's well done. It's diverse, but done in a well where you're not feeling like it's like lame. Like they actually develop the characters. Everyone's pretty interesting. I can see why the certain people. So like the whole so there's basically in the MCU, there's no God. I mean, if there is God of these like gigantic celestial beings, there is no Jesus. There's no Yahweh or any of these things. They're just like stories told. But the real thing is the earth was made by celestials and the
smaller people.
And we're just a fucking egg. The earth is really just an egg for like a celestial. One day will be like, I'm getting up, trying to wake up now. And it's like, it's so weird because of like, you get these like ground level stories in Marvel. Like let's say like they bring in the Punisher, and the Punisher's like fighting people, and one guy's like, man, what does it even matter, man? We're just people on this planet, man. There's like a fucking space god living on the planet. One day he's gonna wake up and we're all gonna die. So what does it matter if the Kingpin's in charge or
Right.
anything, man? Who cares, man? It's
a compelling argument.
Yeah. No, but I mean, like, it opens the door to like all kinds of crazy shit. So it is interesting that they made this movie. It's
Yeah.
like it's a crazy concept, and I get to see it like flowing over people's heads. Like I said, I'm surprised it hasn't it has not pissed off people. The way
Yeah.
they
No,
like
I could see that based on your
I'm fine with it
description.
either way. I don't give a shit. I prefer that we are just a giant egg,
Yeah.
really, for a space god that is. And the whole point is when it wakes up, it's a good thing because it creates life in other galaxies. So
Right.
like you lose some, you make
Yeah.
some. Like it. You had the first gay couple in Marvel. Like that wasn't just some like random background character, or whatever. It was one of the Eternals is a husband and a kid. And then there was some other like it just was different.
Yeah.
I was gonna say one thing though, and they made a big deal about this director, and I do feel like they gave her room to breathe. Like as a director, I forgot what movie she's supposed to like some award, like one of these new indie directors, and like she won an Oscar recently. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I'm racking my brain trying to
I don't
think.
know the movie that she made that won the Oscar, but then she went to the Eternals. And I feel like they gave her room to breathe. Like there's they always say like all of these Marvel movies, they claim that there's no independent voice. And I'm like, that's not whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not getting into that. But like, and actually going back to Shang-Chi real quick, another reason why the movie I felt so you had all these like fight scenes and they're unique, and it kind of goes with Eternals too. Like, but then when it gets down to like the big CGI battle in the end, and this is actually a room, and I don't know if this is true or not. I could probably look this up. Supposedly, okay, they get directors to make the movies, right? And they do all like interactions with actors and all that stuff. But supposedly, all the big like CGI battles are not directed by the director. They're like the director does not direct those. Like so, like the director of Shang-Chi did not really direct that end of that movie.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like they like predetermine these or something, and it's all like a lot of the stuff's like CGI and all that. And I don't know how much truth there is to that, but like I could see that a little bit.
Yeah, no, I can too.
All right, so it is definitely an interesting movie on the Marvel's part. I again will give this a B. It's not the best. It's interesting that this is again you had Endgame come out and 3 movies that followed up. Did you see Black Widow?
I did. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It was okay. It was fine. I think the thing that made it suffer was that it was a prequel, technically, or like not a prequel, but like it took place before the first Infinity War movie, and we already passed that. And I think the other thing that really hurt it was that it was delayed a year. It was delayed a year.
Yeah.
And you had all those Marvel TV shows come out on Disney Plus, and those were really good. And it just felt like a retreat, I guess that's the right word.
It did. It felt like, oh, we need content. Let's put something out.
Like I really like Red Guardian. I like the interactions with the family. I like the sister. I like the mom, Rachel Weisz, the mom character. I like all that stuff. It just was like okay. Again, underwhelming villain. Like what's his name? Ray Weisz is the bad guy. He was okay. So I would say it's a whatever. That one to me is like a B also. It's like, but Shang-Chi and Eternals as like follow-up movies to Endgame, to me that says a lot. That's a gamble. That's a studio saying, you know what? We're gonna take some chances before we go back and do like the next Thor movie or whatever. And I think Shang-Chi was probably, from what it sounds like, the more successful version. I think Eternals still did pretty well. I don't know. The end of Eternals, it said they'll be back for Eternals too. I don't know if they'll be back for Eternals too. I'm not I'm curious if it did well enough.
Well, it could be like one of those, like how Winter Soldier was technically Captain America too, but like
It was still Captain America. It said Captain America Winter Soldier.
yeah, but it was like I don't know, those Captain like Civil War was like a Captain America movie, and it's like, but
It
was
was
it?
also like a mini Avengers movie.
Yeah, I could see them having an Eternals too, which
Electric Boogaloo.
yeah, which involves them fighting pagans with Joe Friday. With Joe
Friday and Tom Hanks.
Pep Streebek, that was his name in the movie.
And then the end of the movie, they said, "Oh, you mean the Virgin? What's her name?
Connie Swale."
Virgin Connie Swale." And they were like, "Not anymore."
Yeah.
Like, wait, why are we doing this in a Mark? What is going on here?
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to it.
That's my veins.
I was not skeptical. I knew it would come out good, but I was curious to see where the Marvel movies would go post Endgame, and so far so good.
I think you'll like this one. I think I'm not saying like, oh, you need to run to the theater to see it. I'm glad I saw it.
Yeah.
I wasn't disappointed. And there's some real crazy stuff. And like, what's it? Oh, Camille and Johnny's great in it.
Okay, yeah.
So weird. Did you ever see him recently? He's like super bulked. So he got. Someone made a joke about this. I don't know where I saw this. It's really funny. But so Camille and Johnny got basically bulked up for this movie. He was always like kind of just like a dweeby guy.
Yeah.
He was in Silicon Valley. He's been in a bunch of stuff. He's a comedian, a really funny guy. And he got this part, and he like started working out and everything like that. And like he thought like, you know, that there would be that Marvel scene where you get to see the dude's abs.
Right.
Like Guardians of the Galaxy does that, Captain America did that. He doesn't get that, right? He doesn't get that scene. But like he just kept on working out after that movie.
Yeah.
Now he's like, dude, if you saw what he looks like now,
Big.
it's like, I don't know if this guy could be funny anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, remember what happened to Joe Piscopo?
Oh God, yeah, I forgot.
I mean, I don't know
that.
if Joe Piscopo was funny to begin with. I mean, I liked him in Johnny Dangerously.
Yeah.
My mother shot me once.
Once. Yeah. I don't know. I do know that people, once you start working out, you become kind of you can't stop working out. You know, if you.
I mean, like he just looks. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You gotta see what he looks like. It's like. I'm cute. I wonder if like if they do a second one, he's in it. They're like, "Hey, dude, you gotta like,
right?
Your character is not supposed to be the Hulk."
Yeah.
He's some dude. He has like. Here's the other big thing about Eternals. Again, spoilers.
Yeah.
Move on. I found this interesting. They make references to Batman and Superman in the movie.
Okay, I've read this. Yeah,
and I'm like, I just found it interesting. And this is just my, like, so he has a valet, this guy who helps him, and someone calls him his Alfred, basically. That guy's awesome. So Camille Johnny's character, you find out that he basically became a Bollywood star, and he just basically, he's now his dad. Like his great-grandfather started acting in like 1920, and then 30 years later, his grandfather, and then his dad, and now it's him. Sounds a little too easy to pull that off, but whatever. That's how it does. And he has this guy who works him. That guy's awesome. He's in the movie. I forgot his name, but he's like his like Alf. And someone says, like, "You're Alfred." And they also what's his name? Who's the character that goes too close to the sun and his wings burn?
Icarus.
Icarus is the main character in this movie. Again, I'm not going to ruin anything, but he's kind of like has Supermanish powers, and they refer to him as Superman. They call him Superman. The kid says that, and I'm like, wow, what's going on here? I'm like, so Disney, like in the Marvel universe, DC superheroes exist.
Yeah, I read that they wanted the Eternals to seem like they live in the world where all these things are really happening. You know,
right? But it'd be kind of funny if they're also, because they're doing like multiverses. If this is like the seed,
right,
to the DC Marvel universe. I don't know. I part of me like doesn't. I don't really care to see that, but I guess when Disney eats up and owns Warner Brothers or something, and 2 decades from now, then I guess they can make the movie, and they could all go back to the Eternals and say it started there. This movie that you guys didn't love, it's all there, and it becomes the most important Marvel movie ever. All right. So speaking of Marvel movies,
right?
The Kyle Rittenhouse case.
Yeah,
This is definitely the worst Marvel movie.
Yeah, it is. They concluded the trial a couple days ago. The jury's been deliberating. That is obviously weird news because it means that there's likely to be a hung jury or something like that if they're still deliberating. I don't know. It doesn't look good. I mean, I think this kid's going to get off.
I think the fucking judge is gonna get him off.
It's just so. It's
the judge wants to marry him or something.
They said like he was like dancing in the courtroom and pointing to Rittenhouse today. And hey, did you hear? The judge here is Bruce Schroeder, right?
Yeah.
And the guy that bailed Kyle Rittenhouse out of jail to begin with.
There's no relationship.
There's no relation.
I looked it up. Their names are spelled differently. That was like the first day I saw the trial when I saw this guy was acting. I was like, what the fuck's going on here? And my conspiracy brain went, I'm going to look up Ricky Schroeder and Bruce Schroeder and see. The names are spelled differently.
I saw that on Twitter like shortly before we started recording tonight, and I was like, I gotta think I would have heard about this before. Like this doesn't seem true,
That would be funny. That would be so fucked up. Oh, I just happen to have a judge in my family.
Right. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm really disappointed. I don't know. I mean, like I have like a lot.
I think the prosecution did a fine job of pointing out that Kyle did not have any reason to be there. That this was not. He had no right to be there. That he was the aggressor. They showed this video footage showing it. This aerial footage showing it. How he acts. How he reacts to people. What he's doing there. He's not an EMT. He's not a cop. He's not anything. Well, he's a 17. I think they did a fine job doing that. There's really no other way to do it. I think at the end of the day, you have a lawyer. You have a judge that it favors this kid and has let this kid. I mean, dude, they let him pick out. I don't even get this one. So he got to pick the jury in the end. Like, what the fuck?
He did it by chance. They had numbers in a hat basically, and they let him pick the numbers that would be the eventual jury. I've heard of stuff like that happening before. That's not like in and of itself crazy.
Like he knew what to pick. I mean, come on. The whole thing sounds so. And then the right wing was trying to create this bullshit like today, like, oh, there's supposedly these two jury people that are holding up everything because I guess they're not agreeing that he's free. And then be invited to Judge Schroeder's house for Thanksgiving. I mean, like, fuck, man. I hope the next day Schroeder should just have Kyle Rittenhouse sit on his lap and ask him what he wants for Christmas.
I don't know. It's tough. I mean,
you don't shoot your eye out, kid.
I can't imagine a world where Kyle Rittenhouse isn't guilty, but like I have a very sneaking suspicion that that's exactly what's going to happen, is that he'll be found not guilty.
That's insane.
It is.
It's so insane. These people are not, and all these nuts are showing up. Let me see if I play the video of this.
It is. It's outside the courthouse is becoming a zoo.
Yeah, here's this guy. He's got like a Civil War hat on. He looks like a meaner version of Paulie from Rocky, and he's pissed.
I think they should have been fucking locking up every damn It's okay to riot and tear apart churches, but it's against the law to defend yourself.
Kiss my fuck. Rabble.
I know, right? It takes some pretty big cognitive dissonance to.
What?
It takes some pretty big cognitive dissonance to support Kyle Rittenhouse, but not support BLM protesters. I mean, like, you really got to jump through hoops to like make that okay in your head.
The funny thing is they're trying to claim that there was all this violence that night and all those different things, but the thing is that there were only 2 people killed and 1 person maimed that night.
Yeah.
And it was all done by Kyle Rittenhouse.
Right.
And no, if Kyle wasn't there, there wouldn't have been more murder and Kyle stopped it. No.
Yeah.
Those people would be alive and that other guy's arm would not have a hole in it. And and this one never happened. And it would just been a night where cops just beat the shit out of some protesters, like they usually do.
Yeah.
And but they're like saying that he came to defend property. It wasn't his property. Who cares? It's not his property. You have no. You ever hear that story from years ago? It was this. I saw this on like John Oliver and some other thing. It goes back to like when Obama was president. It was just like this weird law where this neighbor in like Texas or some shit saw like the neighbor's house being broken into supposedly, but there was
nothing taken.
Nothing. There was no proof of anything bad happening or whatever. But like they calls the cops, and the cops are like, "Do not do anything." But then he went and he basically killed these people. He got away with it. He was able to claim that he became like this weird folk hero on Fox News. And they're like, dude, this guy's a nut. It's like he didn't need to do this. None of these people no one needed to die. This was like he's not a hero. It's like they're like okay with being a vigilante if it leads to like protecting the state property. So like Kyle Rittenhouse, like that was not his property. And he's not even from that state. He doesn't live there. He's too young to have a fucking gun. He had no reason to be there.
Yeah.
People that are usually there to help don't have AR-15s wrapped around them. They just don't. They might have a handgun. They might have some kind of weapon or something for protection, but they don't usually have an aggressive weapon like that.
Yeah.
That's just not how it works. Like, oh my God, I'm hurt. Oh, hold on. Oh, sorry, my gun swung around and hit you in the face. Sorry.
It'll be
I'm just trying to help. I'm just an EMT.
It'll be interesting to see how it goes.
So I guess any time now there's like a women's march or like some BLM protest or anything like that. Now a whole bunch of Kyle Rittenhouses can show up, and if they kill some people, hey, they might be okay.
Right.
They could claim defense. You know what it is? It's like that psychotic shit. And someone brought, I think it was Sananabi, I think his name is.
Yep, sounds right.
Hassan Piker. I was watching this thing and he talked about how fucked up it is. Like, so Heather Hayes, who was killed at that Nazi riot in Charlottesville, Virginia, back in 2017. Heather Hayes was one of the protesters, and she got ran over by a Nazi. Like the guy was a fucking Nazi. He smashed in, he killed her, and he hurt a bunch of other people. They only hear about her. She got killed, but he hurt a bunch of other people.
Oh yeah,
that guy's in jail for life. He's never getting out, and thank God he isn't. Right. But after that, you start seeing like guys like DeSantis and other ghouls. These laws that basically allowed a guy like that to kill people and claim self-defense. I was just trying to escape.
It's like
trying to escape, and now I can, thanks to Ron DeSantis.
It's not even like a get out of jail free card. It's a avoid jail card.
Well, it's like a license to kill. Literally what it is. I mean, like, I hate to use that. It sounds corny, without the James Bond music in the beginning. But I mean, it's literally saying like you have every right to kill somebody, and you can claim that it's like Florida stand your ground with the Trayvon Martin thing. But the whole thing with the car is absolutely insanity. So let's say that law went into effect. Like, let's say Youngkin, who's now going to be the governor thanks to a bunch of morons in Virginia. Who knows, he might put in a law like that. And so when you get your next Charlottesville, guess what? That guy's friend or whatever fellow Nazi can go kill people, and he went in jail because he could claim, I was trying to protect myself. They were like surrounding my car.
No, but you're right. And it escalates with each new event.
So now when you go to like a women's march or like BLM or anything anti-war protest, who knows, anything like that, anything that has like some kind of, or pro-choice, which would be the women's march, any of those type of things, a piece of shit like Kyle Rittenhouse, gang of them could show up now with guns, just sitting there, be even more intimidating, more threatening, knowing that there is no justice. And so this kid getting off is so disgusting. If this kid gets out and one, he faced no reform for what he did, no consequences for what he did.
Nothing.
He'll be now a hero. Like, what was it? This fucking guy. This guy's Odaya, whatever his name is, from West Virginia.
Okay. Yeah.
This guy's fucking clueless. This was like the dumbest thing I ever read. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Let me see if I can find it. I'm like, this is like some MSNB shit on crack. This delusion that this guy will have any remorse, or like he'll be a pariah. He was trying to make it. Let me see if I can find it. It was from earlier today.
Yeah.
Jeez. You want to do some drum beats in the background while I, some fill the noise, fill it with some sound, fill the
my expert beatboxing, my expert.
Let me see if I can find this. But it's just this brain dead, he may not go to jail, but he'll pay in the big world. And it's like, no, he's not. He's a fucking folk hero.
I don't know. I am curious.
I can't find it. He just said that if Kyle Rittenhouse gets out, he'll be a pariah. People won't let him date their daughters or any of that shit. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
It's so much right wing.
Right.
He's gonna get this kid, or no, who knows? Also, maybe this kid will get killed.
Yeah.
We'll fuck around and find out.
Well, it is like an odd thing. I look at obviously the obvious parallels, George Zimmerman, who killed Trayvon Martin. The Kyle Rittenhouse thing seems a little more egregious to me. I guess these aren't really things you can compare.
George Zimmerman was a full-grown adult. He made his own decision to do that.
Yeah.
Kyle Rittenhouse was driven to the. Now, again, I'm not saying Kyle Rittenhouse is innocent in that fact because he's younger.
He's more sympathetic.
He's guilty as fuck. The difference is he needed his mom to take him there. He needed somebody to give him a gun.
True.
He couldn't do all these things by himself.
Well, George Zimmerman doesn't seem to be living a great life. I'll put it that way.
No, they tried doing stuff he was invited to the NRA thing, and he was trying to sell artwork and all this shit. And there were enough psychopaths out there to buy stuff. And let me tell you, the same people defending George Zimmerman are the same people defending Congress.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
These are the same people, and let me tell you, these people are horrible. They're horrible.
Yeah.
The stuff I would hear from people defending George Zimmerman, I was like, I don't know. I'm like, delete. I'm like, you're just a piece of shit. I'm sorry. We're not going to meet in the middle on this. This is the guy was guilty. Don't tell me he was not defending himself. There's no fact that he started that shit with that kid. And then the same thing with Kyle Rittenhouse. He was there. It's like okay. So you had a whole summer of these protests, and you're already 4 years into the fucking Trump administration, and you're dealing with these, and you're post Charlottesville. You're just dealing with these fucking psychopaths all the time, and everything going on. And then you're at a protest. And all summer, these Boogaloo boys were showing up, and all these weird right-wing groups were showing up to all these George Floyd protests, fucking kind of just starting shit and making things uneasy. And then you go there and you see some little shit kid with a gun, and you're just like, what the fuck is going on? So him alone there is just an act of aggression on his part and on their part for having him there. He's not there. He was there to instigate shit. So you had a whole hot ass summer with with a fucking president telling people there'll be bullets in the street or something. And you have COVID. You had a COVID on a rampage with no fucking vaccine for months later. And this piece of shit is there with a gun, this yokel, and you're like, are you fucking kidding me? Really?
Yeah.
And the cops are fine with it. I love it. All these pigs that they'll come on my page anytime I post on stuff, and they'll say that I'm a statist or I'm all this shit. And I'm like, dude, you're the one that's okay with the cops killing people. You're the one that's the state. You're the one. Kyle Rittenhouse will not be some independent of the government if he gets off. No, he's a state-sanctioned murderer. He gets to kill people and almost be sponsored by a state in a way.
The whole rhetoric on that end of things has really gone bizarre. I remember talking about that clip where the guy is like, when do we get to use our guns? And I mean, it's just become a real scary kind of authoritarian movement.
Yeah, it's scary. And this kid getting off will just, I think, is going to open the door. Now, I don't think that any of these clowns or nut jobs that come out and try to defend, pull copycat or do whatever, they're really gonna regret it, because they're not going to get the same.
Right.
They're not going to get the same
leeway
that fucking Kyle Rittenhouse got. For some reason, they decided to just make this, the right wing in this country decided to put all their ammunition in this kid.
Yeah, so to speak.
Yeah, literally. I mean, like, I don't even understand. Like, oh God, he's gonna be so awful. I mean, he already is a terrible kid. We saw that video of him beating up a girl, like, what's been months before, and his mom's like, his parents are gross.
Yeah, the parents
like,
are just gross.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like people, when I see people make fun of his mom, they're like, "Oh, she's 38," and they're like, to talk about it. I'm like, listen, we know she's a fucking disgusting pig,
right?
But that's not why she's a horrible person. She's horrible because she's a disgusting human being. I mean, like,
I saw that too. There, some like a real pretty woman said, like, put her face up next to Rittenhouse's mom's and was like, we're the same age. How's that? I mean, you don't need to go into lookism.
Like, what? Better genes, or you live better, or I don't know. I mean, and also, I'm sure, regardless of how, even though we all think we know that this fucking kid's gonna get off, I'm sure she's stressed to hell. Yeah. Even though she's a piece of shit, Oh yeah. And I hope her fucking son rots in jail. But, and not because they're right wing. No, because he's a fucking murderer. Yeah. And we know that this is a political hit job. The whole thing is. And we know the implications. It's going to be horrible if this kid gets off.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the judge, man.
The judge is real. I guess I read today this judge is going to be up for re-election. This is an elected.
He'll probably win in that area. I'm sure in that area he'll probably win.
Well, I don't know. I mean, the judge, this is like the screwy thing. The judge seemed genuinely surprised that people would have a problem with him.
What do you mean?
He seems really surprised that people are angry at him.
This guy's an asshole.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like,
he's surprised because he's finally being seen, and like the whole country sees it.
Yeah.
The whole country, and maybe in the world's watching this case.
I've seen
everything.
I've seen tweets from international writers talking about him and his weird decisions and stuff like that.
This is like kind of, he's like a judge that, like, you would see in like the movie Midnight Express.
Right.
Like, corrupt kangaroo court that just throws you in prison. Like, that's what he is. And it's like, United States is supposed to be this better place and stuff, and it's not. It's not. It's like, you got clowns like this. You have judges who are paid off and bought. They fill up children's prisons because you find out like their fucking brother is in charge of a private prison. That's actually happened.
Oh, that happened. Story. I think in Pennsylvania that was a big deal.
Guys sent away like tons of kids, destroyed these kids' lives, fucked them up. Yeah. Took 2 years from their life when they needed it the most, and then like fucking, you take a year or two away from these kids' lives, you're really sending them back 5 years.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
These guys are bastards. And it's like, this guy's a bastard, dude. He's horrible.
Yeah, it's screwy. I don't know the mechanics of it, but I don't think that there's a mechanism by which the prosecution can complain about that. I think they just got to deal with it.
I mean, they're just doing their job, and I'm sorry. I know people are like, I think they're doing a fine job. I think they're doing that one guy does a fine job of asking questions and everything. It's like,
I don't have any problem with the prosecution. I mean,
we're watching a wrestling match where I guess Kyle Rittenhouse is the baby face.
Yeah.
And the prosecution's labeled as the heel, and the judge is the coolest referee. I'm not even kidding. It's like, that's exactly what this is. I've never seen anything this ridiculous. People are saying that he's like Judge Ito from OJ trial. Was Ito that bad?
No, but Judge Ito just kind of got a little taste of celebrity and ran with it. But he didn't have any, like with Schroeder, he just seems very biased towards Rittenhouse. Judge Ito
Heard
just
the
seemed like a
dancing
little full of,
Itos.
yeah.
What was that on, like Leno or
I
something?
think it was on Conan or Leno or something like that. It sounds more like a Conan
Conan's
thing.
like, I don't think, I think Conan's post OJ. Or no, maybe not.
Uh,
Yeah, I remember that. Okay. I don't know. Yeah, they showed the dancing Schroeders. I mean, this guy sucks, dude.
yeah.
He looks, I posted and said that, like, this guy's gonna go down in history as, like, you know, that one judge who's famous for, like, the Chicago 7?
Yeah.
He was like this horrible
His last
judge.
name was Hoff. Yeah, you posted about him, Julius
Yeah.
Hoffman. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like considered, like, I mean, this guy could have had like a great career. It doesn't even matter. He like he will go down his
shredded himself
person because of this case. And this piece of shit will too. But and again, we live in such a divided country now with media and everything that it doesn't matter. It doesn't. Schroeder can. There's enough media channels that will raise him up.
Yeah.
And on a national, I don't think it matters.
I don't know. I mean, like, maybe I'm giving people too much credit, but I think that the average person wants to live in a society where this isn't okay.
It's not okay.
Well, I know it's not okay. I mean, I know that. And I feel
I know
way.
you know that. I'm just saying,
but I'm just saying, like, I gotta think that these are the types of things that
if you say that Kyle Rittenhouse is not guilty because he was defending himself, then you have chosen to ignore like a whole bunch of problems.
Context, yeah,
you did. You are complete. I mean, yeah, I guess if you have no context to it, you can be stupid enough to believe that Kyle Rittenhouse was defending himself. But if you see the story and it's like 17-year-old who didn't have the right to own that gun, is too young to own that gun, his mom took him there and was there basically to start shit with a bunch of protesters.
Yeah.
He wasn't defending himself. He was an aggressor.
That's it. I mean, like, you can't, and
you can't convince those people that.
The prosecution said that really well in their closing statement. They were like, you can't claim self-defense if you're the aggressor. If you show up in an unsafe situation, start doing stuff in that situation, you're an aggressor. You're kind of a co-combatant. I don't know. I mean, you're not just some guy there to defend himself. So,
yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to say about this. There was something else I want to talk about because I know we're going to talk about Gosar.
Well, we were going to talk about Gosar.
There was something else that happened recently, and I wanted to bring it up
with Rittenhouse.
Well, it's kind of like part of that. It's not Rittenhouse. It's like whatever else is going on in the world. I just, if it comes back to me, I'll remember.
Yeah. All right.
Just got so excited talking about Marvel movies. That
right.
About, the small escapism that's in the world. We could watch a headless hairy turkey with wings that goes.
Yeah.
I could love that thing.
Wow.
I want it as a pet.
Yeah.
The thing was awesome. Like more of that.
Yeah.
That's Kyle Rittenhouse. More of that thing.
For sure.
Maurice's.
More Maurice's.
Mo Maurice's.
Well, you were going to talk about Bill Barr briefly when we not Bill Barr.
Bill Barr. I don't want to talk about that guy.
We were going to talk about Bill Burr and how even he was kind of realizing that
actually something really funny. I was thinking about that. But so I was at the post office today, and the woman at the post office, the clerk, was not, because I'm there a lot, so whatever, she knows that. Like, she's telling me like this. She knows I hate the joy and she hates the joy, right?
Right.
So she was telling me how like this guy came in and he was all pissed about the joy and everything. And he's like, why is it gone? I'm like, why is this guy getting mad at you? It's not like you're the one who hired him. I said, though, you should ask them, like, who did you vote for in 2016?
Right.
Because these fucking idiots who complain about these things never put two and two together.
No,
they
rarely do.
They never think there's a consequence for their action. They don't realize, like, oh, wait, you voted for Trump? Well, guess what? You're responsible for the joy being your mail's all fucked up because you voted for Trump. That is literally it. Like, there's no other. That's it.
That's it. That's the reason.
you could not see beyond everything because you fell for some dumb memes on Fox News, and now you're getting slower mail and it's more expensive. That's it. You vote. You hated Hillary. Those emails. Well, guess what?
Yeah.
Those emails wouldn't have affected your mail.
Nope, not at all.
I mean, I don't know if the mail would have gotten better under her or worse, but I don't think they would be systematically destroying.
They wouldn't be dismantling the postal system.
Millions of dollars of tax-funded equipment to make sure that Trump could win an election.
Yeah, it's screwy.
Yeah. Okay. So real quick, Bill Burr, and this has something to do with Rittenhouse actually. So Bill Burr is a comedian. Do you know that?
Yeah. Comedian, actor, sure, yeah.
Known for a joke or two.
Right.
A joke or two. He has one joke that's kind of funny, where he says, like the politicians they need to, like one of them just needs to come out and be honest, say, listen, like 80% of you got to go.
Right. I remember,
yeah. That's the only way to solve like all these problems we have. It's like, dude, 80, he's like, none of them are gonna say, none of them have the guts to say 80% of you gotta go. Like the fucking fucked up thing. It's kind of true. I mean, you might as well say 90% though.
Right.
I mean, at that point. But he actually had a good take. I mean, he does have good takes. You know, you see Bill Burr, you think of Bill Burr, he kind of falls in line with the collection of comedians like Chappelle or Rogan or any of those, you know, like in their 50s, they've been around a while and they're known for saying what it is, you know, saying what it is, you know, a man's comedian. Whoa, my dog just like went ape shit for a second.
Oh, jeez.
He got jealous because I started talking about Maurice, hairy turkey from Shang-Chi. Sorry, that freaked me out. I don't like that. Give me the spookies.
Right.
Go back to bed, Snoopy. Okay, that's my dog. So he said that Rittenhouse is guilty. He had no right to be there.
Right. Yeah.
I was like shocked to see that. He's not defending Rittenhouse. He's on the right side of history.
Yeah. It is. I mean, that's a low bar, but yes, I'm glad to see that too.
In this day and age, where you get like all these shitty or older comedians, not to say that he is or anything, but like these comedians who are like, they get a certain age and they either start bitching about cancel culture, they start bitching about trans people, or any of this dumb shit. People like Ricky Gervais, it's like really disappointing. You know, obviously we knew Rogan sucks, but like, so it's refreshing when you see a comedian like in that era of comedians and active right now, and the type of people that usually like them and stuff like that, that he's just saying, Rittenhouse is guilty.
Yeah.
It's great. I think it's awesome. I think, again, another great thing he did is like he was a guest on Rogan, and Rogan was talking, this was like last summer. So it was more about, the argument was just about masks. And of course, Rogan was against wearing masks because he's a dangerous tool. He was trying to joke with Bill Burr, and he's like talking about like masks for cucks or something. And Bill Burr just like wasn't gonna have it. He basically just said, listen, I'm not gonna have this conversation with you smoking a cigar in front of a flag, American flag. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, you know, you're not a doctor. I thought it was great. It was like the perfect thing. Hoping that Bill Burr be like, yeah, that's right, they're all cucks, and you know, like,
right.
That's right. You know, like he did the opposite, and I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, that's good.
So yeah, I mean, it's nice to just see a comedian be like a decent.
Be straightforward about it and say this is it.
You ever see that video on like TikTok of the British guy? He's like a comedian. He's talking about like, am I too challenging? Am I too? You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
That guy's great. He does like that whole bit. He's making fun of like Ricky Gervais and all these other comedians that attack trans people and stuff. And like, what is it? Are you offended? Am I too challenging?
Right.
He just goes on. It's like really funny. He just like totally breaks it down like how they suck because they're not funny.
Yeah, that's a real good piece.
Cat Williams was also another example. He was interviewed, and he basically said like, it's your job as a comedian to like kind of evolve with the market, and if you can't evolve with the market, you were probably never really good to begin with.
Yeah.
I mean,
which is a real valid point.
I mean, we forget that like it's weird that these people like lift up these comedians and these people up, but like if that is how they make their money, that is their job. And if you're putting out a product, you usually have to evolve with the times.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, before we move on to the next thing, speaking of Shang-Chi,
Yeah.
did you hear about the star of the movie though? Get like totally fucking punking all the right-wing chuds on YouTube that were like the quartering, all these like
Yeah.
Ethan Gamer, all these like these fake nerds that like just scream about go woke, go broke, and all
Right.
like all they do is like attack any modern stuff because they're trying to lure people in the right wing, and they use pop culture to do that. Well,
Yeah.
they were attacking Shang-Chi and saying it was going to be the biggest bomb. All of them were saying that, and he did it or someone works with him did it or whatever. But he posted an image where it was all those like YouTube people and like I gotta find the image. It's really funny, but like #1 movie of the ever in that time period. Like it was the top performing movie in that time period ever. Like no movie has done that well in September. And it was just really funny. Like he totally punked them. And it's just funny because like the star of the movie is doing that. It just makes it even funnier.
That's good.
Like he's like, yeah, you know what? Fuck you guys. like is it giving those guys too much attention? Yeah, probably, but it's still satisfying.
Hey, yeah.
I mean, these fuckers were spending like a year saying that this is this guy's movie, like first real, like as a star of a movie.
Right.
And these fuckers are trying to like sabotage it. And it's like I said, what they say, like success is the best revenge. Or
absolutely.
Like being successful, being like, or doing well in life or whatever like that. And in any way, it doesn't have to be money always.
No, living well is the best revenge.
Yes. Sometimes this living is a good revenge.
Yeah,
like, hey, I'm still alive. Fuck you. Like, I still exist.
That is true. Yeah.
Every breath is, I breathe is one you didn't get.
Right. Yeah. There's a finite number of breaths.
Oh, the cat is trying to get in. That's what's going on.
Yeah, that's trouble.
That one he can't. This door he can't get in. He has no ability. There's no way unless he grows hands, which he does. I'm in a lot of trouble.
Right. Yeah.
Speaking of trouble.
Oh yeah. Gozer
the Gozerian.
Right.
From Gozer, is that his name? Her name?
Paul Gozer, I believe is his name.
Not Gozer from the Ghostbusters.
No, easy mistake to make, but this is Paul Gozer.
This guy's worse than Gozer.
Yeah,
he's Gozer's like, I'm not racist. I don't know.
After Gozer a week ago put up anime meme, an Attack on Titan meme, where he kind of portrayed himself killing AOC.
There was one funny part in that video, though. It depicted Marjorie Taylor Greene as a Titan. And because everyone was passing around that meme
right
of her being that really creepy Titan.
Yeah.
It was when she was trying to like break into like AOC's like room or whatever, and the camera was on her. She's all like, got all crazy looking. And people were posting that meme. Now, obviously, Paul Gozer did not make this himself.
Right.
He had some creeps make it for him. So those people were fully aware. So I will give them these fascist creeps. It is funny they put Marjorie Taylor Greene as a Titan.
Yeah, that is funny.
Sure, why not? But it involved him like making like bizarre attacks on AOC. I think Biden also, and basically having him being like the hero and like killing them. Now, this video is like really stupid and it's childish and everything. And it'd be like one thing if it was just like a YouTube host attacking another YouTube host. But that's not what this is. This is a lawmaker.
Yeah.
And AOC is a lawmaker. And they work in the same place.
They're co-workers, basically.
They're co-workers. And this guy basically put out a video and sent it to the entire country that he wants to murder her.
Well, all we have to do is look back when Kathy Griffin had that picture of Trump's head, a mannequin.
Yeah, but there's a major difference. One, Kathy Griffin's not a politician.
Right.
And, I mean, they're not co-workers. He's the president. Yes. She's just a citizen of the United States. that's not even the same. This is like something different. It'd be like if you were working in an office and somebody was sending out videos like him cutting your head off.
Yeah. Well, but my point with that was that like the Republicans understood like super quickly and easily how that was not okay in their estimation. And it's just funny to see them not say a word about this kind of stuff. You know, I mean,
they were
it's so
silent
predictable.
when Marjorie Taylor Greene, when they wanted to take her off
Yeah.
of committees. More people voted to protect Marjorie Taylor Greene in the Republican Party than anyone.
Yep.
It was totally insane. That was earlier this year. And then, yeah, no one in the AOC tweeted about it like shortly after that video came out and basically said how she was threatened by one guy, called her a fucking bitch. Marjorie Taylor Greene is like threatened to assault her multiple times and all these things. And obviously the Capitol riots and everything, or terrorist attack. It's like really what it is. So she's like, how's this fucking okay? And this guy's making a video, like, this is ridiculous. Now, I don't know. I guess I could blame AOC, your fault, AOC, for being so cool. Now, I'd blame Nancy Pelosi a bit, is the leadership.
Sure.
Come out and say, like, this is not normal. I would even, the best thing to do is even bring up this wouldn't be tolerated in any office and anywhere in the United States.
Yeah.
No company would put up with this. This would be grounds for firing. And I would just call out the GOP. That's call out Kevin McCarthy and just say, like, this speaks volumes and says a lot about your leadership. You're okay with this? This guy, these representatives.
This is you, yeah.
This is you. You're okay with this. If you keep an employee that says horrible things to people, you're basically saying you're okay with it.
Yeah.
And so I guess they censured him today.
Yeah, he was formally censured, and he was stripped of his committee assignment.
So only 2 Republicans voted to do it.
Yeah, Liz Cheney.
One of them is leaving anyway. Right. He's not even going to be running again.
Right.
And Liz Cheney, who was voted out of the Wyoming Republican Party or something.
Apparently, they that's like kind of a thing without teeth, because she can still run for the Republican nomination and win it. But the Republicans.
It's just some symbolic bullshit.
Yeah, it's just like a little humiliation that you want to put on someone. I don't know. That'll be kind of interesting. I read today that a lot of these Republicans that are getting drummed out of the GOP can't, like, there are sore loser laws that make it so that they can't run for office under a different party name right away. They have to wait a year or two. And a few people were saying that if these Republicans were smart, they would get out ahead of it and kind of start their own third party. I don't think that'll happen. I'm not sure that I think that's smart, but you've heard people start saying that.
At the end of the day, these clowns are going to vote the same way, regardless if they call themselves like Lakin's penis or like, that'd be a weird name, right?
Yeah, that would be.
The Lakin Log Party or the Third Way or some other bullshit. Like, they'll still vote Republican. They're still going to be pro-corporate, anti-worker, anti-women's rights. It's still going to be the same shit. And they could just claim it under a different name. It's like, they were like, it's like cinema. Like, oh, she can't, there's no way they're going to let her be a Republican. Yeah, she'll just run as independent. Yeah. And then she'll caucus with the Republicans. I mean, on most issues. So there'll probably be like some social issues she won't. But I mean, the whole thing with Gosar is insane. But this is really insane. Can I play this?
Oh, yeah.
This is Boebert, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Lauren Kubert.
Right.
Took the stand, and she had a lot to say. And it is fucking deranged. Here we go.
The speaker has designated the floor to discuss members' inappropriate actions. Shall we? The Jihad Squad member from Minnesota has paid her husband, and not her brother husband, the other one, over $1 million in campaign funds. This member is allowed on the Foreign Affairs Committee while praising terrorists.
When?
A Democrat chairwoman incited further violence in the streets outside of a courthouse. And then the cherry on top. my colleague and 3-month presidential candidate from California, who is on the Intelligence Committee, slept with Fang Fang, a Chinese spy. Let me say that again.
Is she talking about?
I've heard this shit for like a couple months now. I have no idea what they're talking about.
He's talking about that guy. He ran for a little bit.
Yeah, Eric Swalwell
from California. Yeah, and they made these false claims that he was like having an affair with some like Chinese spy.
Double agent or something. Yeah,
like this woman just everything she said was just slander.
Yeah,
that's all it is. There's no truth to anything she said. It's all slander. It's all character attacks.
Yeah.
How is this shit okay?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Like, I think we need. You know, they say like they call them like right-wing conspiracies. And
yeah.
Like, we can stop calling them that. They're just lies. They're lies. They're based like Pizzagate. That's not a right-wing conspiracy. That's a lie.
Yeah.
It's a horrible lie. Like all those things. Like conspiracies usually have like a tinge of truth to them. Like there's usually like something.
Right.
I mean, fuck, you could say Sandy Hook is conspiracy because you knew Sandy Hook happened. Like,
yeah,
Sandy Hook happened, regardless of if you believe it or not. It's still, but like,
it's a thing.
These insane things where they just say shit. They don't. None of these events have to happen. None of them exist. They're just they're not conspiracies. They're just straight up lies.
Yeah, it's just a stream of consciousness, string of dishonesty. I don't know. I don't know why Democrats don't sue them. You know,
right? I mean, Eric Swalwell should be like, I'm gonna fucking sue Lauren Hubert. Like,
now I know that might open them up to discovery, which they might not want. You know, but like,
which one?
Like if I sued someone for libel, they could depose me to help formulate their defense. You know, and if Swalwell did have a relationship with a woman, he might not want that out. Like, I mean, I can see some real motivations for Democrats not engaging in this way, but it makes a lot more sense to try it at least.
Like the stuff about Ilhan Omar and just that jihad squad. What the fuck? Like, someone's a fucking twit. Like how do they tolerate this shit? It's like, this is not a serious person.
Yeah, I don't know. It's Boebert's a good example too, because she's just so over the top and so ill-informed and
like wearing that dress. Let's go Brandon. I meant to bring that up and we never really talked about Let's Go Brandon. I was like, we were driving and a local commercial was on. It was like some car commercial and the guy's like, let's go Brandon. And I was like, are you kidding?
Yeah. I talk to people on the phone for different work things I do. People just open up a conversation like that. It's bizarre.
What the fuck is wrong with these people?
It's
like not even funny. Like, it's not even funny. It's like, wait, you mean fuck Joe Biden? Like, who cares? Say it.
Just say it.
You coward.
I see that too with somebody was talking today about the OK symbol. The white power.
Well, that was a white power symbol.
Yeah. Well, I could back in when I was a little kid, we used to do the OK symbol to say,
I know,
right?
Yeah.
But now it's like pretty clearly a white power symbol, and I don't understand why they don't just admit it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand.
Because they're gaslighters.
Yeah, that is true. But maybe that's
the same thing. Like the whole Rittenhouse thing's a gaslight. Like the idea that like this kid's innocent, that's a gaslight.
Right.
The kid, they know he's not innocent. They know he was there to kill people, and they love it. They love that he killed them.
Yeah.
They're applauding it. Kill those Antifa. Kill those BLM. They love it. And now they feel like they can go do it. They're not. There's no justice in this. They don't care. This woman, she went on there and just, like you said, it was just a stream of consciousness. It was all lies. And they're all just right-wing. They're all just the same right-wing bullshit going around. And it's insane.
Yeah.
I don't understand how
I agree.
It's tolerated. It shouldn't be tolerated. Like, she should be removed from fucking Congress.
Well, we've talked about this before too. I think that's difficult, but you can certainly censure them. You can do a whole bunch that the Democrats haven't done.
So what's the deal with Paul Garsar's family? Like, his brother on something. And he's
thought you knew this when he was.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, when he was running, there was a famous campaign ad where like all his brothers and sisters shot an ad for his opponent.
Oh, I think I heard about. Okay,
Yeah. So all of them were like, you don't, our brother's an idiot. You don't want him representing you. And it was like a pretty effective ad on paper, at least, because Gozar won, you know. They even had like a bunch of his patients talking to the media, and the patients would be like, yeah, I used to go to him, but about a year ago he started talking about like these sex dungeons and pizza restaurants and shit. And
What is he, a doctor?
he's a dentist.
Yeah,
He's a
that guy. He's what's his face?
Steve Martin from.
No, not him. I'm talking about Seinfeld. What's his name?
Oh yeah,
the Heisenberg guy, Bryan Cranston's character.
Well,
dentist.
He is. I'll tell you, man. There are just some screwy people out there. There really are.
How horrible you have to be that like in a family.
Yeah.
Like if you had a family member who was a congressman,
right?
That would be usually like
applauded.
That'd be like that's a win for this family.
For the
Gozars.
For the Gozarians.
What?
For the Gozarians.
Yeah. The Gozarians, yeah, all those Gozarians. It's like you ever watch Always Sunny? There's like the Floyds or whatever they're called. O'Malley. What are they? They're like these weird people, and they're gross. They're like they take showers together.
Right.
They're like these creepy brothers. I forgot the name. They show up like every year. They always show up.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank on that too.
But you think like the family would be proud. How horrible do you have to be that your family's like, oh, yeah, he shouldn't be there. He's awful.
Well, like, he is really
odious. What?
He's really odious. You know, there's a few Republicans that are.
He interacts with like the Groypers, which is like Nick Fuentes, all these like neo-Nazis and shit. And here's the funny thing about the whole anime thing is that like a lot of these neo-Nazis, they love anime, which is weird. They love anime. It is weird, but there's some weird shit in anime that's
as I was kind of nodding along, agreeing, I'm like, you know, anime is often like really misogynistic and really.
There's like some stuff. There's always like the what they call it, like the little girl that like.
Yeah.
But it's okay because she's 5,000 years old.
Right. Yeah. That's.
Looks like a little girl. I don't care. She's 5,000. 25. Yeah. No interest.
That gets weird. That's weird.
These people are with the libertarian the age of consent is it's like one of their main causes.
Yeah, they're real worried about that.
Why does it have to be 16?
Well, yeah, I don't know. We have
really 5,000 years old. Paul Gosar said so.
We really have seen this terrible. So it's weird. Some of this terrible behavior is nothing new. Like Paul Gosar has always been a terrible person. Same with
it's just gotten way worse with Trump.
It's got much worse, and now it's like aggressively bad.
Well,
you know,
what's his face say he's got a primary 13 people. Was that guy the guy in the wheelchair, the kid? He's like 16. He's a GOP guy.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I'm drawing a blank on the name.
What's his name? You know his. I hate looking shit up. I always like.
Yeah.
He said he was gonna sue. Like he was gonna. He said he was gonna primary like whoever voted for something. I don't know what it was. Something that was Madison Cawthorn, and he tweeted he was gonna primary like the 13. And people were like, "How are you gonna do that? You're gonna move to like 13 different states?" Like, what do you mean? Like you're not Trump, asshole.
Right? Is he
just congressman? You can't make a grand statement like this guy's a fucking idiot. Like. Like, dude, calm down. You're like when you're president, which the way things are going, that could be possible. We could have President Cawthorn. This dude, Lauren Burbert's fucking psychopath. Like she isn't like the joke is though she'll probably lose anyway because her district got redrawn.
Her district got redrawn. She was. I didn't realize this. She was from where that mass shooting was.
Laura?
Yeah. She said that was in my old hometown or my old neighborhood.
But she may be from that, but that's not where her district.
No, you're right. That's not her district, but that's where she kind of was born and raised, I suppose. So I don't know, like Boebert may be drummed out because of a couple things. One, I don't think her district really likes her much anymore, and two, I think she got like redistricted in the
She's
process.
a clown, but she doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I think it's weird. Candidates like Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene and maybe Gozar to some extent, they've almost become national representatives, like
of Republican media.
Yeah, like
not even like
not
even of politics, just media.
I'll bet you if you look at Lauren Boebert's donations, very few of them come from Colorado. Relatively few of them come from Colorado. Same with Marjorie Taylor Greene in Georgia. It's all people. It's like chuds from all over the country wanting to get
people who like pay Tim Pool, like do super chats with Tim Pool.
Like, right.
Like it's the same kind of people. It's like you're paying $30 to go ask Tim Pool a question.
God, could you imagine?
Really? All right. Well, I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. I mean, I'm glad that Gosar was censured. I don't know. I mean, again, that just removes him from committee seats. I don't know if it could hurt him when he runs again, or it will elevate him because people are fucking weird. It feels like these guys can turn into a martyr, and right wings love martyrs. They love being the victim, which is funny because they say everyone else on the left is a victim.
Right.
We the ones that claim we're a victim. That's literally what they do on everything. Well, there's no base to their victimhood. That's the thing. It's all like made up.
Like, it's all manufactured.
Like victim of like what? Long, like decades, centuries of oppression. Yeah, that's a real thing. And it's like that carries weight through generations, and it's pain and it's unresolved. And that could make people into a quote unquote victim.
Right.
But people who are not victims at all and just create bullshit, and then they act like they're
well, I guess this is kind of the last thing with that group, and it was just the rollout of the infrastructure bill happened over the last week
real
or
quick.
so.
I mean, it's not what it was supposed to be. I kind of wish Biden would stop calling it the bipartisan.
Yeah, me too.
Like, you'd be like, yeah, we got it done. The Democrats got it done. And then name like the 4 Republicans that voted for it.
Right.
But there's all these asshole Republicans going back to the district saying and trying to act like they are the ones that voted for it when they in fact voted against it.
Worked real hard against it. Yeah.
It was like I remember that one Republican, I don't even know what state it was, but it was like when it was early on in Biden's presidency when they sent out the next stimulus check, and this guy tried taking credit for it, and he voted against it. Like, he literally voted against it, and he tried taking credit for it. And it was like, what the fuck? Like,
they are 100% confident that their voters won't care or bother to figure it out.
They're right.
Yeah, sadly.
Right. They just say whatever Boebert said on the stand during Congress. Yeah. Say versions of that, and these people will be happy. They feel like, oh yeah, they're fighting for me.
Well, they will
even pay attention if they're voting for their well-being or not.
Yeah. Well, they'll keep doing it until there's consequences.
Well, let's like right-wing media will make sure they never know that. They don't. Again, nothing beats that famous video after Hillary lost to Trump, and this guy was at like some town hall and he voted for Trump and everything. And he was like, I don't care about Obamacare, but you better not touch my ACA.
Yeah, right?
You literally voted against it.
It's the same,
It's the same thing, buddy. There's no Obamacare on top of the ACA.
It's the same thing. It's
what it's called, and you fell for it. You're you voted against your well-being, buddy. Congrats.
It's so common too.
What?
It's so common too.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well,
so I don't know the infrastructure bills. I mean, regardless, even though it's not what we supposedly wanted, but it is still considered like the biggest fucking infrastructure bill.
It's huge. It's a big deal, and money goes to a lot of places, and it's for good things. It's building roads, it's putting in electric charging stations, it's maintaining bridges, and
people will return the favor by giving the House to Republicans in 2022, and possibly the presidency in 2024. So good
Right.
job, America. You fucking suck.
And the day one, the Republicans will start naming shit after Trump. That's like literally going to be their first item of business.
Yeah. All the new roads that were built
Yeah.
will now become Trump roads.
Right. So
I did that. That was me. I'm back. I'm back. Welcome, America. We welcome. I'm dying, so I'm gonna put my daughter in there.
Yeah.
You don't really hear from her anymore. You still hear from her son. But she's smart. She's like
she's smarter than the rest.
I'm gonna go away. Well, she's prettier. She's like, I don't need this shit.
Yeah, my guess is she's hoping that the heat dies down in about a year and she can kind of come back out into society.
Yeah. I don't think she gives a fuck either way. Fucking fucking ghouls. They are. Okay. Speaking of ghouls.
Yeah.
Greg Abbott. I know we were gonna talk about the other thing, but this kind of leads to that. So
yeah.
Well, Greg Abbott's doing what he does best, which is trying to have like sex education books removed from schools.
Yeah.
Anything that mentions LGBT. There was like some books removed, like all these like books about like anti-bullying and stuff. They want to remove.
It's crazy.
What's wrong with this state? What is wrong with Texas? Why is cruelty? Why do these people? Why is everything that they do is based on cruelty?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like,
why would an anti-bullying book be like what?
Well, I'll tell you why. Because
I'm offended.
They're going after stuff like that because they see that as like, oh, that's a tool the liberals will use against my son. My son loves making fun of trans people, or my son
loves making fun of the Down syndrome kid. My son loves making fun of the autistic kid. My son loves making fun of the kid in the wheelchair.
Yeah. And they know that if these mental health books are kind of in the curriculum and whatever, then people would be like, hey, you know what? You're a shitty person for doing that. And they just can't wrap their heads around that maybe their kid's a shitty person.
Well, they're like, listen, as a bully and as the son of a bully, and that person's the son of a bully, I'm offended by this.
It's a family trait.
Anti-bullying agenda, and I don't like it.
Well, that's their complaint. Is they're like, I should be able to say in class that being gay is abnormal. That's their argument. And most of us would be like, no, you're bullying someone. And they'll be like, no, I should be able to proclaim that,
it's in the Bible. It's in the Bible.
Trans people are going to hell or something.
The Bible, the Bible says it.
Yeah. That's why they're going after those things.
And then again, it's all like stuff about race, stuff about, like you said, like was it like let us burn in hell jail, like any of these types of books. They're going after them in Texas. And again, also knowledge usually means less people vote for Greg Abbott.
Well, yeah.
That's usually.
Just being able
and
to
also
read,
they know that what?
Just being able to read well, honestly.
And then Beto announced that he's running, which we knew. It's kind of like the worst kept secret.
Right.
I think it's awesome. We'll see what happens.
I think he's the Democrats' best chance in Texas. I think he's got a good infrastructure. I think he's passionate. I think he knows the state. I'm going to vote for him.
He's going to go after Abbott on everything. I think if he does it right, which I think he already is, he needs to cast Abbott as a fucking villain.
Yeah.
And not apologize. Don't apologize for anything. Don't apologize to anything. If you go too far, don't apologize. These people.
Yeah. Just go further.
Go further.
Yeah.
And but my biggest fear is that it doesn't matter, because one time after his town was shot up by a lunatic in El Paso, Beto said he was going to take away AR-15s and stuff. Yeah. And I'm afraid that the state, most people here care more about that than they do their pipe squeezing during the winter.
We'll see.
Not having power for a week.
A lot can happen. Honestly, if we have another power grid failure over the winter,
that won't matter. Elections in November.
I'm just saying, like, a lot of it could matter. I think a lot of it could matter.
It could, but I'm just saying that, like,
the elections in November, that's actually fine, because you could say, look, last November, we were months away from a power grid failure. And the November before that, we were a month or two away from a power grid failure.
But
And here we are in
Abbott got the
November
guy from
again.
Bucky's to, I don't know, give him corn nuggets or whatever they say. Bucky nugget was delicious.
Well, I think Beto's the best shot, and I'm
Oh, I
glad
do
he's
too.
running.
I think he is literally the Democrats' best shot in
Yeah.
defeating Abbott, getting a national attention and everything. And I think again, he's good at like not taking shit. He was good at not taking shit from Ted Cruz. But like I said, I just fear the gun thing. I'm trying to think, look what. Oh, and Abbott's trying to make all these claims now. He's saying that Beto will be bad for jobs with oil and all that. It's like, no, he won't.
I don't think the gun thing's a deal breaker because look, you could have a Democrat show up to a campaign stop, literally waving two pistols around like Yosemite Sam or something, and saying, "I can't wait to give everyone in Texas a gun." And you'd still have the Republicans saying that he's going to take your guns away.
Oh, I know. I
mean,
that.
It doesn't matter. Like
no, I know it doesn't matter. They're going to say that anyway. But the problem is they have that video of him saying it.
That's fine.
I'm fine with it because fucking shit, and I don't vote, but I know that there's insane people. My other fear is that the state's crazy too, because you remember when Biden's bus was off the road? That was in Texas.
That was in San Marcos or something, I think. Yeah.
That wasn't far from us.
No.
And that shit will probably happen to Beto. These people are psychotic. I remember when he didn't announce it yet, but earlier this year he was doing like these town hall things, and the TTP was showing up and they were blaring sirens the entire time. It's fucking animals. Like,
well, look, this is a hard one.
It is, but he is the best one.
But you gotta assume that the right wing is going to do that to you, and you got to plan for it. You got to show up with, some college kids that are willing to like counter protest. You've got to do it strategically. You have to have loudspeakers that are going to drown out the other loudspeakers. I mean, there's ways to fight this. Beto he's not like a shoestring budget candidate.
No, I know. I'm not saying that. Like, again, I think he's great. I supported him. I've seen him live multiple times. Not like in a bad mean, like
right.
And I voted for him for senator, had to sign up and everything.
Yeah.
Had a t-shirt. I liked him. I thought I think the presidential run was a little premature.
Yeah,
I don't think that helped his brand too much. There was too many people running. It wasn't enough for him to stick out. I think he was too novice. I think he should have went after Cornyn, or I don't know, maybe he just had a couple years off. Maybe it's better, you learn some things from the presidential thing and you bring it back and you go after Abbott and you make it more of like a Texas thing, that you're all about Texas, and as the governor, him being a Texan, he cares about Texas. He should bring up even if it isn't Abbott, he should bring up like all the stuff they did when the fucking when it froze, even though that was more like a critique on Ted Cruz, that's also a critique on Abbott because Abbott's done nothing. Did you see that video where a woman, it's at a football game, and this woman calls Tez to him like, "Hey, did you fix the pipes or something like that, the grid?" And he said it's like 15% better or something now. He makes this claim, and the person's like, "You're lying." like I don't believe you. I think you're lying. I mean, I would like to think they did something. They had to have done something.
Well, I don't know.
But then remember early this year, not even like, what was it, May? And it was like the first day it reached like 85. And then all of a sudden, ERCOT, is that it?
Yeah, well, yeah. They were saying don't run your air conditioner.
Yeah, they were telling you like, don't run in past this. And then it was at 78 degrees at night. Yeah. I'm like, fuck you. You know how hot that is in a house?
Yeah. No, I remember that.
Like, go fuck yourself, buddy. Like,
yeah, that's.
I mean, again,
post a picture of Greg Abbott's thermostat before you start chirping to me about how I need to save Texas's.
I love too things like, when Greg Abbott, he tried to put in all this anti-COVID stuff in. He tried putting in all these like get rid of any restriction whatsoever. He did that immediately after the power failure as a distraction, but. My favorite was like there was a restaurant or something. It's like, you have to wear a mask. I don't care what Greg Abbott says. He doesn't pay my bills.
Yeah, it's
Greg Abbott sucks. I hope that Beto crushes him. Even if it's just by 1 percentage point. I hope he
yeah.
I think it'd be good for the country. I think it'd be great
Oh
for the
yeah,
country.
yeah.
It'd be great for the Democratic Party. It'd be great. It would be a good fuck you to the Republicans. It would just be awesome to have him, the state of Texas, go
Yeah.
to Democrats, because it's a big state,
Yep.
and it's like what I mean, it's like one of the only big states that the Republicans really have. I mean,
Yeah, it's their crown jewel electorally.
yeah, I guess Florida also is kind of.
Yeah, but Florida's
Texas is better.
And also Florida does have, I mean, maybe not so much today, but even recently, Florida had plenty of Democratic congresspersons. It had a Democratic senator up until pretty recently. Florida's historically been a little more friendly to Democrats than Texas. Texas has been dead to Democrats.
I will say the biggest, even if Beto gets in, they redrew all the maps, so Beto's going to be dealing with like mostly probably will be a Republican run delegations, and they'll probably Abbott's definitely the kind of piece of shit that would sign whatever bills to limit whatever powers that Beto would have as governor.
Beto's a smart guy though. He can work around some of that. First things you gotta win the election, and then you work.
Well, yeah, I know that. Yeah. Again, I am all for it. I hope he gets it. I always see these fucking people say some shit like it was a Neil or something like that. You know what? I'm like, I don't fucking care.
Right.
I don't care if he's a fucking Clinton 2.6. I really don't care.
I'll take a moderate Democrat here.
I'll take fucking Joe Manchin over fucking
right.
Abbott. Like, Joe Manchin sucks ass. And I don't know, actually. I think he falls prey to that culture war shit. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would take the worst Democrat over fucking Greg Abbott.
Absolutely.
Greg Abbott's a fucking horrible ghoul.
Yeah.
Like, well, I mean, okay, so speaking of that, his actions, so one of the things he did was they put in like one of the most archaic anti-choice laws.
Yeah.
And on top of that, the bounty system, which is just an act of cruelty.
It's crazy,
It's cruel. There's no, like, fine, you want to put in an anti-abortion law and stuff like that, but like this, which is fucked up, but this bounty thing is like, it's so cruel.
Oh, it's next level, yeah.
But there's some exciting new opportunities.
Yeah. Okay, so I read this article and I shared it with you in the Washington Post a day or two ago, and it was written by a reporter. Some people have a lot of problems with this reporter. I don't, but I guess I'm willing to kind of entertain that.
What's the name of this reporter?
Stephanie McCrummen. And I looked her up. She's she went to journalism school. She's been a writer for a while. She is from Alabama. And she does have a history of writing articles that are about conservative Republicans and QAnon and stuff like this. Anyway, all that being said, this article is about a woman named Aubrey Schlackman who lives right down the road from us in Argyle, Texas. And she was driving down a road you and I drive down pretty often one day when she got it in her head that she wanted to buy a huge ass ranch and fill it with cabins. And she would let,
like, I'm going to become David Koresh.
Yeah, she would have married couples live in these cabins, and they would all kind of adopt a single mom, a single pregnant woman, and they would model to her how to be married, and they would help her with the kid, and the woman would have to go to Bible study, and and wear a bracelet saying "I am free," and it was just bizarre. It was.
And this is all in a reaction to the anti-abortion laws that were the anti-women's choice laws that were put through in Texas. So this is like an opportunity that this person's seeing that they can do this because, these people are going to be stuck with a unwanted pregnancy because they have no choice anymore.
Right.
And it's super creepy and weird.
She wants basically a compound stocked with pregnant women, and they would learn how to farm was the other thing.
So she's like, wants slaves?
It sounds like, I described this to my wife and she thought I was making it up. She 100% thought I was kind of, because I know she had just gotten done watching all the episodes of the Handmaid's Tale. And she's like, this is stupid. You're just explaining to me the Handmaid's Tale. And I was like, no, this is really, and then I kept adding details, and each detail I added sounded stupider than the last. Like, they had to go to Bible study, they had to wear these bracelets, they had to, but it's a thing, and it's right down the road, and
it's not far from us. It's like 20 minutes. It's like a 20-minute drive, that town.
Yep.
Not even. I'm like,
yeah. And the church is kind of loosely affiliated with is in this town, the village church, and they have
that
like
church. From what I hear, is horrible.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but really rough things. It's weird. I read, because I started reading about this place. Pastor from the village church. Now, this was 2 years ago. He had a big article in some sort of Christian journal that said evangelicals lost their way by voting for Trump. Lost their way by voting for Trump.
What year was that article from?
Like 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
okay.
No, I'm not. Look, the guy probably got fired the day after he wrote that. I don't know if he still works
or he
there.
changed his opinion real quick.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a chilling article. And I don't know, a lot of people commented online saying how the woman who wrote the article was glamorizing this thing. I didn't necessarily see it that way. The Washington Post also published a weird article a couple days ago where they said, basically, like, they profiled another pro-life organization in Texas, and this one was giving out like diapers and food and shit. They would just give it to whoever wanted it. And they were saying the basic argument was like, if you don't like abortion, give poor people diapers. That a lot of poor people have an abortion because of economic circumstances. And if they knew they didn't have to work for a year, and they knew they didn't have to pay for childcare, and they knew they didn't have to pay for diapers, they'd just as soon have the kid, you know? And
they would have the resources to do it.
Yeah. I don't have any real strong feelings about it one way or the other. I know that if a woman wants to do something with her body, then that's kind of her call, and that's where that should end.
Point. It's called a choice.
Yeah. So I don't want to glamorize these places either, because they're not only providing diapers, they're also working to outlaw abortion. You know what I mean? Like, it's
they're not helping they're not helping the issue.
If they said, hey, we're not going to try to change the law, and you can have an abortion if you want, we're just saying if you don't want to have one and money's the problem, let us help, I think that's fine. I think that's good.
There's a lot of strings attached to it.
Yeah, the first organization, it didn't seem like there were a ton attached. It was basically like, you drive up, get your shit, and then go. The second one, there was like not only strings attached, there were like chains attached. You know, they were like it was grim. I would highly recommend reading the article.
You'll have to worship me.
It's called "A Maternity Ranch is Born."
It just sounds creepy, and it is like him. It's like funny, like you said, with your wife's like watch Handmaid's Tale, and you describe it, and you're like, okay, are you fucking with me? Like,
yeah, she 100% thought I was screwing.
I'm sure this shit isn't new and it's been around, but the fact is, it's like this. They see it as an opportunity because of a woman's right to be taken away by Greg Abbott and the Republicans in the state. That this is a golden opportunity for them to come in now and like offer something to people who are clearly not in the best place in their life. And
it is so abusive, you know, like they created this crisis, and now they're presenting themselves as the only people that can help the crisis, but they're tying all these strings to it. It's like if the fire department,
that's literally like slavery in some way.
Yeah. It's like if the fire department lit your house on fire and then rolled up with a tanker truck and said, we'd be glad to put out that fire, but we're going to need you to sign this contract first, like,
Yeah, he's yearly. You have to
Yeah.
sign up for 1 year. It's like $150 a week.
right.
Like,
We need you to sign up for our essential oils plan,
but if you sign up now, you'll get 1 month free.
right. Yeah. And we'll put out this fire that we just started. And we'll put
Yeah. We started that fire. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Forgot to tell you.
So
We call it a sample fire.
right. And the whole fact that it's like a ranch and a farm just makes it even more like grim.
Yeah, Texas has a history of. Hey, you know what I learned today about Texas, which is super creepy? Okay, you know how like Oklahoma, they say it's like a pan, and it's like a lid. I mean, it has like the long arm on
Right.
it, or whatever you would call it. Like, what would you call it on a pot?
Panhandle.
Yeah, panhandle. It's like, why does Oklahoma have like this thin strip where it's like 20 miles, 30 miles of like nothing? What is that about?
What is that about?
Oh, this is great. You want to know what it's about? You know why that exists?
I'm sure it has something to do with race, but let me hear
Yes,
it.
100% slavery.
Yeah.
That if Texas basically succeeded that land to Oklahoma so that Texas could, because the law, I guess, at the time was anything north of like whatever.
A certain parallel or whatever.
Slavery was illegal. And I guess Texas used to reach that point, and Oklahoma was just like a rectangle.
Yeah.
And then Texas was like, take this pot, this lid, so we could have slavery here.
Yeah, I believe it.
Great, right? Isn't that great? So
yeah.
It doesn't sound as much fun as like Oklahoma's a panhandle.
Right.
Isn't that cute? Yeah. What's the origins of that? Don't worry about that. You'll never learn because we got rid of critical race theory. What's critical race theory? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just figured I'd add that to your already
little fun fact.
Story. Yeah, fun fact. Like I said, it's like all the ingredients. That's another reason why I'm like, I don't see Beta winning, because how do you win in a state that has pregnancy farms?
Well, I don't know. I mean, like,
not to say that wouldn't exist in other parts of the country. It totally could, but
I could do it. Like, look, that kind of shit could happen anywhere in America, in every single state.
Yeah,
there's
states that have like strong laws that could prevent.
Well, that's the thing, is Texas has laws that encourage this. Other states have laws that discourage this.
Yes.
So
it should be the discourage part. It's
well,
gross. I don't know what to say. I guess speaking of a new Texan, who claims he only lives in a small house. He claims he has like some tiny house he lives in.
Right.
Elon Musk.
Yeah,
I'm gonna find the tweet because
he got in a little spat with Bernie Sanders recently.
Yeah, real. Let me see if I could find this.
Yeah, it was a weird exchange.
Let me see if I can find it. 1 second.
Yeah.
So I tweet. Bernie Sanders tweets. Oh crap. We must demand that the extremely wealthy pay their fair share. Period.
Yes.
Elon Musk writes, I keep forgetting that you're still alive. And I was like, wow. I retweeted it. And I said, this piece of shit cult leader quadrupled his wealth during the pandemic while telling everyone COVID wasn't real. That blew up. I had almost 5,000 likes on that.
Wow.
That's a lot for me. That's a lot for me. I'm still wondering those. You ever see those tweets? I'm like, how did I get 300K? It's so stupid. It's like an account that has, it's like not even.
It's all
account.
Timing. I'm convinced.
And then I tweeted more stuff though with that tweet. I said, Elon Musk is a tax dodging, anti-union, crypto scheme pushing scuzzball. One guy wrote, tax dodging, stop my boner, can only get so hard. Then I wrote, Elon bros are coming, and it's the Apu.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Jumping in front. I updated. I made a new one. You see that one about House?
Yeah, I did see that one.
And it said instead of weird nerds, it was
People that should be on a no-fly.
People should be on a no-fly list, like Kyle Rittenhouse. Then what else did I write? I wrote some more stuff, like part of that, like just wanted to point out some things, like
it's just such a weird thing for people to side with Elon. We've talked about that a bunch. Like
this guy's a billionaire. He like tripled his wealth. He doesn't give a fuck about you. You know.
Well, and he got most of his wealth from his parents' like blood diamond mine.
Yeah, wealth went to wealth. It's not like he
didn't hustle or have this great idea or anything. He just
like felt and everything. It's like he did not create Tesla. He bought Tesla.
Right.
He did not create SpaceX. I don't think he did. And maybe
he's not like an engineer. So he's not like Tony Stark. I mean,
he's trying to make him out to be like acting like he's the smartest man on the planet. It's like, I mean, yeah, I'm sure he's intelligent, but like,
I mean,
really not.
Right.
No, it tweets like that. I thought you were dead.
Yeah.
It's like, who would like? So Nina Turner tweeted out, "I'm so sick. I'm sick and tired of billionaires not paying their fair share while working people are stretched incredibly too thin. Enough is enough. We need a wealth tax now." Elon Musk in 2020, March 22nd, he was worth $27 billion. 2021, November 6th, he's worth $338 billion.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
I said it originally, it quadrupled as well. I said it wasn't quadrupled. It's absolutely way worse than you could imagine. Elon did everything to avoid COVID restrictions at his factories. He went on Rogan and other bootlicking avenues to push COVID conspiracies while taking advantage of the pandemic for his financial gain. I mean, Elon Musk is a piece of shit. I mean, he like hijacked the electric car like by making himself out to be this fucking hero. There are other companies that were doing it for years. I heard his cars are not very good. They're fucking death traps. Other people say they're just batteries on wheels. And they don't operate like a car company because everything they do is just to like shoot up the stock market. He's just a piece of shit. Like Bernie Sanders is like fighting to get people health care. Elon Musk is not doing anything that benefits you. He's not saving the planet. He's not doing anything.
No, he's just dicking around.
And his end game, he's just looking at memes. He's looking at his stock market. He's looking at how wealthy he is. He's looking at NFTs, which is mostly just artwork of Elon Musk. That's like half of the NFTs out there. He's looking at crypto and how to manipulate crypto markets. And he's not real. And like what? He's going to get us to Mars? No, he's not. And if he does, you're talking like not in our lifetime. And like what he wants to do on Mars is not what he wants to basically be Cohagen from fucking Total Recall. This guy, everyone. Oh, and the other thing people point out too, he's like, he's gonna try to bullshit this thing. Like I did this without the government or whatever. I did this all on my own, which is like a famous thing. Like a lot of these like so-called libertarian like billionaires like to say, and it's complete bullshit because his companies relied on subsidies from the government. Someone posted an article and said he got like $5 billion subsidy.
Well, and like
where'd that come from? What?
It's not even that. It's like if you look at the infrastructure bill, a big part of that is putting electric car chargers in places all over the country. That helps sell Teslas. Yeah.
Well, I think he would want it to be just Tesla at once. And
that's true.
I mean, he just sucks. There's no other like he's people though, and the problem is like he has a cult, and it's like when you go up to Bernie Sanders, a beloved cunt. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
he's
a piece of shit. Like I saw that and I like tweeted that at me. I was like, "Fuck you, dude!" Like, and it's like, dude, it's all about his wealth.
Yeah,
like he didn't react to Bernie as like, "I am fighting for the free spirit of the economy. Nope. Everyone has a right to become the next Elon Musk." No, it was like, I don't want to pay my taxes.
Yeah.
I don't want to pay taxes. Even though I'm worth $338 billion, he could shed $38 billion.
Yeah, just pay your taxes, man.
And he would still be he would make all that money back.
Easily.
Speaking of a different douchebag billionaire, you see Jeff Bezos went to some like charity event thing and he only donated $500,000 and it got like an audible groan throughout the entire thing. The thing is like it's so pathetic because the amount of money he makes a minute, he made that money back in less than 5 minutes.
He probably made it on the drive home. Yeah.
drive home. He made it while he was sitting there. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
that's akin to like me or you going somewhere and like slipping a 20 in or something.
Yeah.
You know, like
dude, he's eating. It took him longer to eat his food than it did to make another $500,000. People are like, you can't even donate $1 million.
yeah. Jesus.
Like, what are you doing with that money? What are you doing with it? You know, like this bullshit about space. You know what? These people have made me not give a fuck about space. You know, when I was a kid, I was fascinated by it. No, I did. I was like fascinated by it. I'm like, oh, well, like moon bases and Mars bases, and we'll be in space and we'll meet some aliens. It's gonna be cool. And then these fuckers come in and they just like totally hijacked it. I saw it happen in like the 90s.
Yeah.
Virgin, that guy, what's his name? Branson.
Richard Branson.
Yeah, these guys, they all like just like hijack the space race, and like now they're just like shooting people off in their dick rockets.
Yeah. Well, the cool part about space for me as a kid was that it was like a government program. Not that I thought of it was like, oh, it's cool, it's a government program, but like it was a shared effort it was on behalf of humanity. It was huge. There were like regular, it wasn't like, oh, I got to clock into work and go to space. You know, I mean, it was like,
gotta work in space. It's a living.
Yeah, it wasn't like, you know, oh, well, we got to make profit margins on this Apollo launch or whatever. I mean, like, oh, it's fucking disgusting. It should have been kept a government program, clearly 100%. Whatever.
No reason why it shouldn't be. Like, and then you get this fucking asshole who doesn't want to pay his taxes, and he's like being a dick to like a beloved politician. Yeah. Everyone loves Bernie. Guy had cute mittens, remember? In the cold, all cozy looking.
Yeah.
Not giving a fuck. At the Biden
sitting there in Texas, the Texas February, Texas
stealing the inauguration.
Yeah,
and he's like, I may have lost the primary, but I won the inauguration. Biden's like, I'm still president.
Yeah,
like, I won the meme war.
Oh,
I remember like all these assholes who were like anti-Bernie.
Yeah,
like people who were like K-Hive, all these people, like all these celebrities that were like, oh, like Alyssa Milano,
right,
and she was like, oh, like that's so great, like because they want to get on the meme,
yeah, hop in on it,
meme. Yeah, they want that clout, and all of a sudden now they love Bernie. I was like, like you don't love Bernie. We could have had him. We could have had he could have been accepting the nomination as cute gloves.
Could have been healthcare for all.
He could have had healthcare for all and mittens.
Yeah,
you know, he would have gave you like, sir, can you just put your hand out? It's cold. I'm wearing my mittens. Like in the Bible.
Right.
So Elon Musk sucks.
Fuck him.
I don't know why people keep praising this guy. He just proves every day that he's a shitbag.
Yeah.
Every day.
He's a caricature of that kind of person.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it, I still think a lot of these things are not even like, some of these are just bots. Like not bot, but like trolls.
Yeah. No,
you know, a rich fuck like that is paying someone to like, not that he needs to. That's the whole thing. They say like, oh, they don't need to. No, they have that. And it leads to repetition and other people do it. So it's like you have troll farms increase the number and it helps grow into regular people, supposedly.
Yeah.
Kind of like, what did they say? Oh, I just to wrap this up real quick. Why Trump hated TikTok?
Why did he hate it?
Because they couldn't manipulate it like the way they did Twitter. You can't use, I guess you can't use troll farms or something on TikTok.
It's hard to, they're quick to shut down accounts. I'll tell you that.
What do you mean? Like they know when something's a fake account?
Yeah. My daughter had a TikTok account and it got removed and she had like literally nothing on it. And I actually got a hold of TikTok support and they're like, yeah, we looked at it. Our algorithm tipped us off. It was an under 13 account. It looked under 13. We deleted it. I'm paraphrasing.
I know, but supposedly that is like one of the reasons why Trump hated that account, because
I believe it. Yeah.
Because he couldn't manipulate the way he did the others for the election.
Well, it's also almost entirely based on your face. You know what I mean? Like you can go on Facebook and just type out a post. You can do that on Twitter. You don't have to put your face to it. But for a TikTok to be effective, you need a unique human face. You need one person doing one thing. And if that same person has like several accounts, it gets obvious quickly. That's not so obvious on Twitter or Facebook. You'd have one dude have like 100 Twitter accounts, and no one would be the wiser if the guy was
Instagram.
Yeah, same thing. Instagram. I mean, like
I had some creep the other day. I was saying all kinds of crazy shit. I blocked him and he came back. He's like, I have like 30 other accounts.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'll block that too.
Yeah.
Instagram actually has a cool thing they updated like a year ago.
Oh yeah.
Where if you block someone, you can choose it. It'll block every account that person has.
Right. I've seen that. Yeah.
Great.
But TikTok, I'm sure there are fake accounts on there. I'm sure many people have, but to be effective on TikTok, you got to put your face on it and start talking, and people will notice people will notice. So,
yeah. All right. Well, you know what? On that note, I'm Rob Israel.
I'm Joseph K.
And you still going on about
that.
Thank you for listening to You Still Going On About That. Please like, comment, share, and if you haven't done already, please follow us on Instagram, YSGOAT, Facebook, YSGOAT, and Twitter, YSGOAT. Thank you, and have a great day.